What's going on, everyone? Tanner Poppitt here of Madrost and Poppitt's Corner. Just reminding you that our new record, Charring the Rotting Earth, is now available at NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. That's right. Just go in the search bar, type in NoLifeTomatoRecords.com, and support. Again, NoLifeTomatoRecords.com. Now, let's check out the episode you came to see. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Episode 7 of Poppitt's Corner. I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Jose Barrales. How you doing,
Hey,
sir?
what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm glad you didn't introduce me as Aladdin, because that's weird.
Yeah, we have Aladdin and we have Jasmine sitting over here.
Yeah, people come up to me sometimes
Are you just
like,
gonna?
Aladdin,
You should
Aladdin.
start. You should start singing. I can show you the world. No, man. You still get that or whatever.
Once in a while, I know I haven't talked to that person in a very long time if they call me Aladdin. Just because it's been so long.
Oh, just because you hate him so much that they called you Aladdin, so you don't want to talk to him ever again.
Actually, that nickname goes way back. It goes to probably, I want to say, freshman year of high school.
Tell us the story, dude.
Point where the teachers even called me Aladdin. They thought that was my name. That they were like, oh.
I thought it was your name too.
Exactly, a lot of people did. It had to do a lot with having long hair at the time and skateboarding, and this is when like Tony Hawk
Pro Skater, dude. Yes.
And all that stuff, and I was really into skateboarding.
What were you 8? Because I think I came out in like
No,
2000s or something.
Exactly.
Early
that's how
2000s.
older I am. How much older I am.
You're only older by a year or two, dude.
No, how old are you now?
27.
See, I'm 32.
Okay, whatever. You got 5 years on it. That you're not that
I mean,
old,
I
dude.
age beautifully, I know.
We both do, dude.
Yeah, pretty high. So, it was around that time. So I was probably like in middle school or something when that came out. 2000, 2001. I was a freshman. 2000. Yeah, around that time, and kids in my area weren't really into skateboarding at the time, and they thought it was weird. I grew up with a bunch of like gang cholos and like shit like that, so they were like, "What? Fucking Aladdin," and blah blah blah. So that's how it came about. Yeah. So there it is, dude.
That's awesome.
And
They
I had
just
my
used it for...
skateboard, so they was like, "That's your magic carpet," and it kind of just.
Oh my god, it makes so much sense
Exactly.
now, dude.
So it just kind of just.
See what happens when I turn the camera on and now like.
It's better, right?
Yeah.
No, it sort of evolved into that, and just the teachers and everybody, all my friends started calling me that, and then once it got into the album, it just kind of cemented that name as me, and that's who I became. I became Aladdin.
I believe I'll take a look right here. I mean, I have pretty much all of your discography, I believe, and besides the first demo, I don't have that.
Oh yeah,
I came too late. Yes.
I don't even have that, so you get a pass on that.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, thanks for giving me that pass. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, man. It means a lot. I've been a big fan since a long time. Okay.
Well,
I've always stuck up for Bonded by Blood, dude.
Honestly, I think I told you before. If it wasn't like I watched the Balmore interview, and I thought that was
Shout out to Balmore.
Yeah, hell yeah. What's up, Balmore? I'm gonna say phenomenal like 20 times. I watched that interview, and I seriously, she was there. I was watching it from like till it ended, right? It was like an hour or so.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
The show, and it was cool. I liked the whole idea of it and the way you told the story and asked all these questions from back in the day, and I like that. That was really cool.
I don't really care what your band name means. Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
That's why I started this podcast, because
yeah.
I was sick of interviews, kind of not doing the research, and I wanted to.
Exactly. And that was cool. I felt like it was in depth and.
In depth.
Yeah. It was awesome. And obviously at Balmore, I was interested in everything. There's some stuff that took me back, and I was like, oh, cool. I'd like to be a part of that.
Well, take me back.
Yeah,
We're gonna tell your story right now, if you don't mind.
So
let's go back even before like the musical days. So what kind of were you into before music? So you said skateboarding, correct? So.
Oh yeah. So before that, let's go back to being a kid.
When you were born, dude.
When I came out. No. Well, my dad was in a band. My dad, he's an immigrant. He came here from Mexico. I'm first generation Mexican American. My dad was in a romanticas band. If people know Spanish, that translates to like romantic music, and cumbias, which is dancing.
Yeah, cumbias.
Music. Yeah. So he did that, and I had music around me at all times. There was. He played a little bit of bass. He played a bit of drums. So I can play a little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, master of none, kind of stuff. And so that I grew up with music. That was my first introduction to music ever. I love that. To this day, I still love that stuff. It's a big influence in my life, musically and just in general. I think the first introduction to extreme music. Well, let's go back before extreme music. The first introduction to like something that was not Spanish was probably like some stuff like Limp Bizkit and Snoop Dogg and stuff like that people were liking at that time. That was cool.
I was gonna say the audience has to remember, like, this was the '90s. You know, Kid Rock was the shit.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. So I was a very impressionable kid. I was like, well, this is cool. Skateboarding.
Boy bands were happening then too. You know,
and I just got my music from skate vids, and at the time that was cool. That was what's happening. And then one kid introduced me to, I probably was 12, 13, to the Misfits, Walk Among Us.
Okay.
And that changed my life. Honestly, to this day, Glenn Danzig is one of my favorite vocalists as well. Aside from Henry Rollins and HR from Bad Brains, Danzig was a big thing. And I could have gone plenty of ways with that because obviously the Misfits have influenced so many bands from Metallica to My Chemical Romance or something. I could have gone the My Chemical Romance way, but I ended up researching a lot of like American hardcore punk bands, Dead Kennedys, Bad Brains. I even rented that. I don't know if you heard that. The documentary American Hardcore.
You loved it, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I was introduced to Millions of Dead Cops.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Like,
that was
band's
really cool.
shit,
So
dude.
I actually got the book, and I went to the City of Pomona Library, got the book. I read it. I was so pumped by all these bands, and I was so just like, wow. I started watching VHS tapes of like these raw hardcore shows. Like I said, once you hear like the intro of Big Takeover from Bad Brains, it just kind of was like, whoa. It just changed my life completely. I was like, I want to be like that. So once I got into high school, that's what I got into all these punk bands. I wanted to make punk bands, and I created my first band that I don't even remember the name of the band, but I was probably 14 or 15 when that first band started, and it didn't last long. It was probably like,
what kind of style was it?
it was more like what was cool at the time was like, I don't know if you heard of the bands like The Unseen or The Virus.
Well, those are still like hardcore punk bands.
Yeah, and
the Cramps and all that stuff.
Well, they were actually those bands that were touring at the time. They were like more street punkish, I guess you can say. Casualties type of bands.
Okay.
But at the time, before the Casualties kind of blew up, or as you could say, I mean in their scene at least, those type of bands, that's kind of the style I was playing in. And then I met this guy from Pomona High. He's a drummer, and his name's Miguel. Shout out to Miguel. I know he's in North Dakota somewhere now. He does rapping or something, but he was a really good drummer. He did we had a band called Systematic Chaos.
Okay.
And that was right before Bonded. So I was into bands. At that time, I was already into bands like DRI, Suicidal Tendencies, more of the crossover bands that basically led me into thrash. That band lasted a while. I was in that band for a metal band. That's all I really cared about. And I was looking for a really, really, really good guitarist. That was my only requirement. You have to be really good. A lot of people say they're good, but are they really good?
Well, you want somebody great. There's a difference between good and great.
Exactly. You want someone that's phenomenal. Shout out to Longmore. So
Longmore is phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. He's really good. So I put an ad on these are the MySpace days. So I put an ad on fucking MySpace, and nobody answered. And finally, someone was like, "Hey, I know a guy. I got his mom was my babysitter or something. He's really good." And I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, he's really, really good. You got to check him out. His name's Alex. He lives in Chino. I live in Pomona. Chino's the city right next to me." And I was like, "All right, I guess." I went there with not high hopes at all. I was like, it's going to be by that time I had already been through like 3 tryouts.
Yeah.
Where it's like it was really, really bad. So I was like, okay, cool. I get in there, and there's this guy that very shy. He opens the door. He's like, hey, guy, it's me, Alex. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Jose, I'm here for the guitar tryout thing. He's like, oh, okay, come here. It's in my room. Really shy guy. He's been homeschooled for most of his life. So I was like, okay, is this guy going to be really good? He had like this little beat up, little red amp. I forgot what it is. If you ever watched this, Alex, let me know. And I believe it was a Guitar Research amp. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, he puts it on. He has this, I think it was I'm not sure if he was playing Ibanez at the time, but I think it was an Ibanez. I know he also had a Johnson guitar that was like an
offshoot of Fender.
Yeah, it was.
My buddy had one of those
and
too, dude.
He even like scalped the fretboard to be like.
Oh, he scalloped it.
Yeah, he scalloped it.
So
yeah. So it could be like
filed all the
Malmsteen.
yeah.
So, I mean, at the time, I didn't know what he was doing. He's like, yeah, whatever. He plugs in and he starts playing some Maiden, but like flawlessly. And I was just like, I was like, I'm here, because I brought my guitar as well and my amp.
And you just
I was like,
lock the car door.
No,
I'm like, I'm here
honestly,
to sing
the
only.
first thing I did was like, put my guitar down, put it back in its case, and I just watched him play because he was really, really good. He was phenomenal, and no, he was amazing. And he was like, no, I suck. I'm not like my heroes. He was trying to measure himself up to these guys.
We all
like,
do,
yeah,
dude.
exactly. But he was like beating himself up crazy, and I'm like, well, I really want this guy in my band. Like, I don't care what we play, this guy plays really well. And so we started discussing different things about what we wanted. He said yeah. He couldn't believe I wanted him in a band. He was like, really, I'm that good? And I told him, obviously, I was like, yeah, you're pretty damn good. And he was showing me stuff that he was into, like he was playing a lot of Ozzy Osbourne, a lot of Razor X. Stuff that was new to me, like Razor X was new to me at the time. I didn't know what the hell that was. I come from Circle Jerks and Black Flag, and I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Minor Threat,
yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like fucking Razor X. He had Cacophony, all this crazy cool shit.
Shred,
yeah. And I was like,
stuff.
man, this is really good. So for like a year, me and him were just trying to make new songs. We didn't have a band name. We didn't have any of that stuff. And we were trying out people. I think the next person that came into the band was either Ruben or Carlos. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, did you and back up real quick? Did you and Alex ever bond over anything else besides music? Did you bond over like comics or like? Because I know you're a big comic guy.
Yeah, I'm a big comic guy. Silver Surfer always.
But did you bond over anything else? Food, maybe, or like?
Oh well, he was really big into cartoons. Big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, obviously.
I'll get to that later.
Yeah. All the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s cartoons we were into. We weren't into comic books together. We were into, what else did we listen to? We watched a lot of Kung Fu movies. That was like a big thing. He was a big Bruce Lee fan, so was I. We obviously loved Terminator 2, one of the biggest. We watched a lot. So we bonded over that stuff. Skateboarding, he wasn't the greatest skateboarder, sorry Alex, but he wasn't, but he was into it, so it was really cool. And stuff like video games.
Okay.
Play a lot of video games. He kicks my ass on Street Fighter a lot, and I like Street Fighter, and he kicks my ass.
Every time you play him, you probably don't like it as much.
No, he's really good. Really, really good at Street Fighter. So.
Okay, so after Alex came in, Ruben / Carlos, we don't really know who came in after. How did you find them?
So Ruben, I went to high school with his sister.
Okay.
And he's like, my brother's a bassist, and he plays like, at the time he was playing like Red Hot Chili Pepper stuff and funk and stuff like that. So yeah, he came in, he had like this beat up bass, but he played so badass, and I was like, hell yeah, you can be in the band. Got him in the next day. He was playing, and I think he was living in Fontana at the time, but he'd always stay at my house.
Fontana's like 20, 30 minutes away from Pomona?
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes away. But yeah, he was living out there, and I remember these days, I had to go pick him up. I was the only one with the car in the band. So
There's always that guy. There's always the guy that gets like the first guy to get a car.
Yeah.
He's always that guy that has to do
I had to go
everything.
pick him up from Fontana, come back. He'd stay at my house for a bit. It was fun, though. It was really cool. So that was him. Carlos, it was from his girlfriend. She had mutual friends with my friends, and I had posted that ad on MySpace back in the MySpace days, if people remember MySpace.
Yeah, when you only could see like 5 items at a time.
And then like I put up
you have to
bulletin.
refresh it. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, the bulletin. Yep.
So I put up a bulletin, and then his girlfriend messaged me.
What year was this?
I want to say it was 2004-ish.
Okay.
Around there.
So this is just when MySpace, I think, was starting.
Probably. That's how old I am. So it's 2004-ish, and she was like, yeah, my boyfriend just got kicked out of a Metallica cover band, something like that. from my
Ding.
memories. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. Well, can he play? He's like, yeah, you guys should come to his house. And he lived in Diamond Bar. I don't know where he lives now, but that's where we went to go try him out. Diamond Bar
Corona. He lives in Corona now.
Oh, he lives in Corona. Cool. Yeah, Diamond Bar is literally like 10 minutes away from Pomona. It's like the neighborhood right there off the 60. And so we're like, yeah, cool. He's close and he plays drums. Drummers are some of the hardest people to fucking find. It's just
Great
insane.
drummers are even harder, dude.
So we went to his house. He had like this.
How did he play?
He played really well. I mean, before that, I was playing.
I was waiting for the word. Did you see how I set it up and you didn't get it? Played phenomenal.
Oh, phenomenal. I fucked up. Oh, you can say fucked up here, right?
You've said it fucking 15 times already. Don't worry about it, man.
I'm going to say a lot of bad words.
That's fine.
Good words to me.
Kids, go to bed.
Yeah, he played phenomenal. And no, well, I was coming from punk bands, a lot of bands. We were sloppy on purpose. And then and so he was playing on time and everything was fine and he kept the rhythm and it was stuff that we wanted to play. I think he tried out to like Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. So he was like, yeah, I could do it. The funny thing about that tryout is like he did it. He played that one song and he's like, he kind of kicked us out because he was like, okay, so I'll call you guys. And then we were just like by the door, like, okay, did that just happen? What's going on? And we talked about it. We tried out other drummers before. I even tried out my old punk drummer. And I don't know if he's going through some thing because he's like, I don't want to play in like because we showed him some songs. I think we showed him like Slayer and these songs that we wanted to play. He's like, he was about it at first, but then he's like, I don't want to play those satanic songs.
Yes,
and I was like, what the fuck? So we ended up going with Carlos and you know, he worked out.
Absolutely.
And then Ruben. And then we were to get a unit for...
So you had four. You guys were a four-piece at that time.
Yeah, and we were a unit for about a year or two before Juan came in. We were doing backyard shows, and we were kind of just winging stuff, to be honest. I didn't have anything written. I just was... They were jamming out. I remember Alex is doing, like, Razor X stuff, and he did Michelangelo Badio, like Speed Kills. Like,
yeah.
That was most of our show. We had no songs written. We were doing backyard shows with... At the time, metalcore bands, I guess you want to say.
Right. So there were no kind of styles of the bands that you.
No, we were trying to do like I said, at that time we weren't a thrash band. We were just like an old school metal band. That's what we want. I guess labeled ourselves as. We're old school metal. We didn't know what the hell we were trying to do. So we were just trying to get shows and play in front of people. And the scene around us at the time, what was popular and was like kids and not older people, was metalcore stuff and emo. That was like the most popular thing in our area, in the IE at the time. We didn't know anything about an LA scene growing. We didn't know about bands like Fueled by Fire. We didn't know about bands like Warbringer. We didn't know about all those bands, and they were doing basically what we were doing in a way, but in their cities, you know what I mean? But we didn't know that was going on at the time. It was just kind of like, let's play. We're tired of this music scene going on right now, and let's just do some old school stuff. And that's what happened. So we were, in a way, forced to play with these bands, but it kind of shaped us to be who we are, which is really cool because we're like, well, we really need to change the scene. It's horrible. We don't want to be part of this, and we need to find more bands that want to play like old school metal stuff. And luckily, after a few shows, we're like, you know, we got to get a little bit more serious, and we got to find another guitarist. I think it'll just sound like a full band. And I was reading MySpace bulletins. MySpace is a big part of Bonded by Blood, actually. You'll see why, because we actually got signed through MySpace as well, which is crazy. But yeah, I was going through the bulletins, and I was friends with Juan at the time, Juan Juarez, the rhythm and lead guitarist of Bonded now, and he posted something about getting kicked out of a band, like a metalcore band.
He was too good for him, dude. That guy's way too good.
He was, at the time, I think they were called Suspect. Correct me if I'm wrong, Juan. I think he played in a band called Suspect, and they were from Pomona as well, and they were like that jun jun jun, you know, breakdown kind of stuff. And they kicked him out because he was doing too many leads and he was shredding too much.
So him and Alex kind of share a similar like story.
Yeah. And that was, to me, it was like, hell yeah, you can come shred all you want in my band. So I asked him, hey, do you want to try out for my band? I'm like this type of band, this type of metal. He obviously brought a little bit more of a
progressive. element?
Well, at the time, he was more into like Black Dahlia murder.
Okay.
So, and then he got into, now he's obviously big into Nevermore and that stuff, and he brought that flavor into that. But at the time, he was into Black Dahlia Murder. At that moment, Black Dahlia Murder was a newer band. I had never heard of them at that moment. I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. But he was playing like these really fast riffs with like, you know, like little progressive stuff, and I was like, that's really cool. That could add some flavor to this, what I'm doing now. So it gives it a little bit of a modern twist with this old school flavor, and I dug that a lot. I never wanted to be like every other band ever, to this day with my new band. It was always about keeping true to my roots, but also being fresh. And
what were you guys known as back in the Backyard days? So before, as a 4-piece, were you known as Bonded?
Yeah, we were known as Bonded. I mean, at that time, I was already into Exodus. I was
okay.
So I skipped a lot of when I got into that stuff. By that time, I was into Violence. I was into Exodus. I was into Cryptic Slaughter. I was into a lot of, well, mostly like I remember liking a lot of like East Coast thrash bands like Nuclear Assault and all that stuff, just because they have more of a punk element, and I really was into that.
It's a New York area.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Exactly. So I was really, really into that kind of stuff. And I feel like I brought that flavor into the vocals as well. But by that time, I was already into that. So I remember showing him stuff like a lot of thrash bands, and I knew I had to show him stuff like Testament, a little bit more progressive stuff, a little
Dark
bit more technical
Angel
stuff. Yeah, so he could be like, oh damn, this is what I want to do, and he dove right in. He's like, yeah, I want to be into this. Everybody loved him. If you met the guy, he's a fucking awesome guy.
Oh, dude, of course.
I
would party with that dude all the time, man.
I'm still
I have crazy stories, dude.
He lives down the street from me still. We bump into him all the time. He's a cool guy. So anyways, he was all about it. Yeah, cool. So then we became serious. We were like, okay, let's start doing this stuff. And we played a few more Backyard shows. And then there was an ad on MySpace. See, MySpace has a lot to do with our band. About, I forgot the place's name, but it's in downtown Riverside. It's still there. And they were holding a big old battle of the bands, and the winner.
So this is where I believe this EP, the Extinguished Week EP, comes into play, right? Did you have the 4 Pints demo before the?
No, 4 Pints demo was.
That was the demo you recorded because you won the Battle of the Bands?
Yes.
I thought this one was. No, okay. Hey.
Oh, we got a surprise guest.
Yes. Okay. Okay, just keep going, man.
So
Don't
it was
worry about
4
him.
Pints of Blood.
Okay.
4 Pints of Blood was the one that we ended up making due to the Battle of the Bands. What was it? If everybody knows that place in downtown Riverside that we played at, Lake Alice.
Okay.
It was going to bother me the whole time. So yeah, we played at Lake Alice, and a lot of guys, Steven, which is now in Macrocosm, his band Combat at the time, they played that as well.
With Eric of formerly of Witch Haven.
Yeah, him as well. They all played that. All the IE bands that got to be in that thrashing ended up playing that thing. And what I do remember and that probably gave us the edge, was that the lady that was throwing it was an older lady. Maybe she was in her 50s, late 50s, but she was really into Alex. For whatever reason, she was extremely into, oh my god, he plays guitar so well, blah blah. And I'm sure that's the reason we won, aside from us being pretty good, because at the end it was us and some like pop punk band, and pop punk was really big at the time as well. Everybody was like, they had a whole crew of people like, yeah, at the final like round, and everybody's like, yeah, I forgot the name of the pop punk band, but the lady was like all about Alex, and she's like, oh yeah, this is cool. And so we won, and she offered it. We won I think it was $3,000 in money, and we used it to record and buy new instruments. So Ruben got a bass amp. I think it was a Carvin amp, and a bass. He got a BC Rich, and we were just excited because we couldn't afford anything at the time. There was no way.
Dude, you were like 15, 16
yeah,
at the time?
I was the oldest one. I had just turned 18.
Okay.
I think Alex is next. He was 17, and everybody else was like 15, 16. So we couldn't afford shit. And so we had like the crappiest gear, but we could play the hell out of that fucking crappy gear. And we won. We ended up getting free recording. That's how we got 4 Pints of Blood. We got free recording off of it as well, which was at Love Juice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Riverside.
A lot of stuff was recorded at Love Juice.
Yeah,
back in the day, a lot of bands were going to that place.
I think Hexen recorded there. A few other bands recorded.
Ex Mortis recorded their debut album, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of bands that recorded there.
That was a big deal. I remember that place in my high school. If you recorded there, you were the shit, dude.
Yeah, the guy, Dave, was actually a really cool guy. I know people talk shit on it, and I probably wouldn't go record there again anymore. Sorry, Dave. But at the time, it was awesome. We couldn't, like I said, we couldn't afford any recording time, any studio time anywhere else.
And this is back before, like, we had, like, all this technology that we had to, like, go to a studio to record.
Exactly.
Like, we didn't have this technology
and
that
was a big deal. Like, we're in the studio. Whoa. It was just crazy. It was, how Baltimore puts it. What does he say? Phenomenal. It was
there you go.
Cool. So it was phenomenal. No, it was really cool for us, like, never even touching or recording anything, to just put your stuff on there. And I don't even think we practiced for this.
It sounds like you didn't even record to, like, a metronome or a click track.
No,
you know, it was just
raw.
That was it, dude.
I remember it was 4 songs. That's why it's called 4 Pints of Blood. And
is that the reason why?
Yeah.
Okay.
4 Pints of Blood. You know, creative, right? And Carlos went in there, recorded everything in like a few hours. It wasn't even like, I probably was the first takes too. It was just like, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
But those are like, and I don't know if people realize this too, those are like 8-9 minute long songs. It's not like they're like 3 minute long. No, it's like you guys had fucking like,
I don't even remember the names of them.
It's like a 40-minute like demo,
like
dude.
What was that one?
You had like what was it? Evil Within, like Taste of Destruction.
Yeah, Taste of Destruction.
If I can remember.
There's something about war.
Something tragic. It was tragedy.
War.
Something. And then there was a song with tragic, and then there was a song with tragedy. It was like But
they were really long songs.
Yeah, longer pieces.
And those were a lot more influenced by like Testament and those type of bands. You know, it was totally different than what Extinguish the Weak happened. Like, it was a lot more different. Artillery, we were listening to a lot of Artillery and stuff like that. So a little bit more proggy, a little bit more, well, at least in 16-year-old version of proggy for us.
That's very, like, you know, out of left field for
and then what was happening at the time too. So, you know, after that, we actually got to upload it on MySpace, and this is when MySpace was first offering those music pages that got so everybody started putting their music on their page.
Wasn't MySpace great for bands? Like, it's the greatest, I think, social media platform for bands. MySpace.
No, definitely, it was a lot better, way better than Facebook. That's for sure, and way better than Facebook. I hate the whole paying ad thing for Facebook. I hate that.
Well, it didn't used to be like that. Like, it kind of went corporate and then just did, you know.
Well, another thing I dislike about Facebook is that you can't showcase your music as well as MySpace.
You have to go on YouTube.
Yeah, and
put it on.
It's just all these links that have to be associated with it. I don't like that. I like the fact that if you go onto MySpace,
you had a music player.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like 4 songs. Like, this is awesome. Let me check more of their stuff out. It's not like that.
That's how you would discover new bands. Like, a lot, like Bandcamp, I guess, is like the replacement to MySpace.
Yeah, definitely.
But couldn't we just like have like Facebook and Bandcamp again? Like, and call it MySpace.
I can't believe I'm sitting here reminiscing about MySpace and actually.
Well, that's because we were there when it was like you know.
And I'm actually missing MySpace. That's funny, but it was true. It helped out a lot of bands actually.
Fuel by Fire got signed single-handedly, I think, because of MySpace.
We got signed because of MySpace.
So you both, I think, were some of the first bands of that genre to get signed. Yeah.
And so, what was I at with the whole bonded thing? We just did 4 Pints of Blood.
Yeah, you did 4 Pints of Blood.
So we did 4 Pints of Blood. We uploaded it to MySpace. We got a good response to it. People from LA. Now that's when I started realizing there was bands out there playing this type of metal, which I was like, what? People our age are playing this like old school sounding metal. This is fucking cool. Thrash and I started finding out like grindcore bands and all these other bands that were doing it around the area. Most of them were in LA, South Central, Whittier, Norwalk, and so you know I found out about Fuel by Fire. I found out about Warbringer. I found out about Ex Mortis. All these bands that I grew up, well, not grew up, but bonded, kind of grew with them and started playing with them, and eventually all of us got signed. But Ex Mortis was one of the big bands in our Bonded by Blood life that helped us out a lot. They came out to see us at one of our backyard shows in Pomona, and I guess they were playing. There was this guy named Zombie. I don't know if he's still around, but that's what they called him, Zombie. And and he used to throw backyard shows in the IE. That was a thing, backyard shows, because no venue was booking us at the time. It was just
no venue was booking that side of metal in general, though.
So we had to just do backyards, and Ex Mortis came out. They're like, hey, we're a band from Whittier, and I think this was pre-Balmore. I'm pretty sure. They had a standalone vocalist. I forget his name. If you guys know, let me know. And it was around the time that they parted ways, and then Balmore came in. So I became really good friends with Balmore after that as well. We toured together and all that. But back to that, they were like, hey, man, we should start doing shows together. And they became kind of like our buddy band, where we did a lot of whatever shows they got, they put us on.
Wasn't that the great thing about like being in bands? I mean, it's kind of still like that to an extent. Just like, knowing bands and wanting them to be on your shows.
Definitely. Especially since they're so good. And it's like, you definitely want to be on the show with them. They're going to put on a good show.
And there's no competition. Exactly. Like, you can hold your own. They can hold their own. It's just like, you want people to come out and experience like great have them discover new bands. Their fans will discover, you guys and others.
And you share your fans. And that's the cool thing.
That's what a lot of like, I think that's why like a lot of bands don't realize, they don't seem to get that. Is like,
instead of having that competition,
is
having like a camaraderie.
That's how a scene thrives. It's not just like one band. It's like a whole community of music.
No, yeah, definitely.
That's why the thrash scene was so massive.
It was huge.
I mean, for God's sakes, Fuel by Fire wrote a song called "Thrasher's Back."
That shit.
It was like that shit started pretty much it all, in my opinion.
No, it's true. They were doing big things at the time.
But Bonded pretty much came out right after.
Yeah, we're actually probably a year later after them. They were doing this stuff they were a year ahead of us. Most of those bands. So it was, when I did find out about those bands, it was cool. I think I reached out to them as well. I was like, hey, what's up, guys? We should play shows together, blah, blah, blah. But at the time, there was some sort of like, oh, you guys aren't from around here kind of stuff. It was a weird time for those type, like us coming from where we were from in the IE. We never really got shows in LA.
IE or Orange County, if you're from those two areas, LA hated you.
And it's funny because now me and Carlos from Fuel Fire are really good friends, and me and Gio and from Merciless Death, and me and John from Warbringer.
We're all good friends, dude.
I never really had beef with John or anything like that, or all that stuff was really childish stuff if you think about it now. Anyways, at the time that was going on, and Ex Mortis helped us out a lot. They put us on shows. They introduced us to a whole new scene that we weren't aware of, and opened up a lot of doors. So big ups to Ex Mortis, and I'm glad they're doing fucking great right now. Like, they're doing great. Just got off a tour with Obituary. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And especially after all their lineup changes, they've been through so many guys, and they still keep going. That's fucking awesome. Another good friend of mine, Mario. I'm sad to that he's not in the band anymore. I love that guy. He's hilarious. I'm sure you met him a bunch of times. Funniest, coolest
I'm friends
dude
with
ever.
all the bands you're naming. We're all friends, dude.
So we did that. Then we started doing a bunch of more, like, starting to open up for Testament. We started to open up for Exodus. We started opening up for all these bands.
Were you doing pay to play back then?
Hell yeah, we were.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Bonnie was
especially for those bands. Like, I remember doing a Testament show at it used to be the Galaxy Theater.
It's always the Galaxy Theater.
And now it's what the Observatory.
Observatory, yeah.
Yeah, the Galaxy Theater at the time, and we did, what was it called, like California Metal Fest or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
And Testament was headlining, and we had to sell like 100 tickets or something, or 150 tickets. I don't remember.
Oh my
Some
god.
Shit like that. Yeah, dude. And we sold. Ex Mortis was on that show as well. But it was cool. We sold them. It was an easy sell. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that anymore. I hate the whole pay to play.
I'm a totally
concept. I would not jump on anything like that anymore. It's just not my thing. I feel it's disgusting for music and for promoters to do that to musicians, especially. I mean, it's about the art. It's about music. It shouldn't be about that. It's just
to an extent it should be, but I don't.
In a way, I just don't like pay to play. Anyways, back to that. We did Testament. Awesome. we were doing all these shows, and we started, getting enough money to record Extinguished a Week, and we went back to Love Juice to do that.
And a couple of these tracks like didn't make the final cut on the album as well. So, a couple of them you only can hear them kind of on this EP.
Yeah. We did. We uploaded that, and that's when we started getting way more recognition, and we started doing bigger shows, and we did a show at the Whiskey. I think it was with Warbringer, us. I don't remember the other opening bands, but we also had it was Exodus, and I remember the first time. That's the first time I ever met Gary Holt in real life, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, for me, it was my hero. Amazing dude, and he kept looking up at the marquee because it said Bonded by Blood on it, opening up for Exodus, and then he just kept looking at the shirts because there was people that had Bonded by Blood. One of the first shirts we ever made, it was the logo, and it had the guy, the Brutus guy, or the mascot we had at the time. He kept looking, and he asked me, he didn't know I was in the band, and he's like, is this an Exodus cover band? And I started laughing because I was like, no, I'm in this band, I really love your band, and it's just, we're a thrash metal band. He's like, cool, whatever. He didn't mind. He laughed it off, and he's like, cool, I'll check you guys out. That happened. He left. That was my first interaction with Gary Holt. And we played the show. It was a great show. I think they banned mosh pitting at the Whiskey because of that show. Someone broke their leg, or something happened where there was no moshing anymore. And after that show, I think Warbringer got signed by Century Media. Then we got an email from a guy on MySpace. He didn't have a name. He didn't have a picture. I thought it was fake. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? Do you guys have any more music? I'm from this label. I don't know if you've ever heard us. We're Earache Records. And I was like, seriously? I'm like, this is shady. This has to be some guy fucking with us, because he had no friends, no nothing. I'm like, I think I told him to fuck off or something. I was just like, no way, you're not real. And he's like, hold on, let me send you an email from my actual business email. And sure enough, he sent me an email. It said Ali at Earache, and it was these guys from Nottingham. Earache, the main office is in Nottingham. He's like, hey, I really like your stuff. Can you send me the demo? It's from the songs that I hear, it sounds awesome. So I did, thinking nothing of it. I was like, there's a demo. Obviously Earache was really famous for grind and death metal. At the time, they didn't have any thrash bands. I think they did. They had Municipal Waste at the time. They were the only one. And then they got SSS, and they started getting into the whole thrashing as it got bigger, and people started signing everyone up. They started signing everybody. Fire got signed by Metal Blade.
Heavy Artillery was signed Vector. They signed
Mortis.
Merciless Death.
I think Hatchet got signed by Metal Blade at the time too. Did I? I'm not sure.
Yes. Our Waiting Evil, I think, was on Metal Blade. Yeah.
So Metal Blade, Century Media. I think Candlelight Records was signed Havoc. So all these record labels were jumping on the whole thrash thing, and we got fortunate enough to get stuck with Earache. Earache was awesome to us, I think. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about them. They treated us really well, and they put a lot of money into us. And
they put a lot of money behind you guys.
So it was really cool. Al, if you're watching, I still talk to Al too as well. He's in the New York office, and he's an awesome guy too. They're doing something different now. I don't think they even do much metal anymore.
They do more rock bands.
Yeah, like
Rival Sons.
Yeah, exactly. And
stuff. Yeah.
Blackberry Smoke or stuff like that. So I mean, whatever. I think they're on that trend right now. But yeah, that's what we did. We did. They got the demo.
Okay.
And the main guy at Earache, Digby, messaged us after that saying, hey, we really dig it. Here's a contract. Would you want to be signed to Earache Records? Blah, blah, blah. Just like that. Off of MySpace. And I was like, what? It was surreal. I didn't know what to do. We were still fucking kids. I don't know what's going on. Am I going to sign my life away to this?
Well, what was going through your head or whatever? Because obviously, it's a big deal, and you're not even fully aware of how big of a deal that is.
I was excited. I was nervous. I was mostly excited. I was a little bit scared. What do I do? Am I signing my fucking balls away? Is that it? Here it is. It was a 5-record deal, and
it was a 5-record deal contract. Okay, it wasn't it's not a 4. It's a 5.
It was 5.
Okay,
and we all signed. Well, we looked it over. There was some revisions, and we ended up signing it. And everybody was happy with it. They flew me right after we signed it. They flew me out to the Earache. What was it? A Christmas metal party in London. Right after, they're like, "Do you have a passport?" I've never gone out of California at the time. It was just kind of like, okay, besides Mexico for like someone got sick or something in my family, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to Mexico. But I've never gone like outside of the state. And I was like, oh shit, I don't have my passport expired, so I'm gonna get a passport real quick and let's go. And seriously, have everything after that. And this is around 2006, 2007, probably 2006. Everything just went way faster. We got signed to Earache. They flew me out to London. I met the guys from Gamma Bomb. Became really good friends with those guys. I flew down. I was only there for like 3 days. Came back and they're like, okay, let's start working on your album. Do you guys have any?
Which would be
Feed the Beast.
Feed the Beast. Now it's considered the classic Feed the Beast, right?
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened.
10 years, man. I can't believe that.
I can't believe you weren't there for that.
There's a lot of things going on.
I was like, the one guy I thought would be there, was Jose.
It was very last minute, and a lot of things happened. I mean, they're like, hey, do you go to this? I needed to practice if I'm gonna do this stuff just for the fans as well. Like I'm the kind of guy.
The fans want it. I mean, you obviously have done it once before in the past. I mean, I saw it at the Riff House.
Yeah, and I had time to jam out with them and all that stuff, and that was fine and dandy. But this was like super last minute. We're like, hey, we're getting a show here. Here it is. Can you change your plans? And it was like, oh shit. There was no time to work around for me to actually.
I understand. I'm just giving you shit, dude. That's what my job is to do.
I'm just trying to explain to you, like, because I really want the fans to. I'm the kind of guy that if I'm gonna do a show. It has to be like badass, and I wanted to play a few songs. I wanted to make sure I had them. I haven't played those songs in years.
I don't think people grasp that though, so it's kind of good you're telling me this in the viewers here. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of you're very misconceived or misinterpreted in our whole scene. Like everyone's like, I don't know. You're the way that you think. A lot of people can't grasp that, but I understand it coming from like a.
So I wanted it to be fair for not just me, but for everyone else.
And if I put my
understandable. If I put my name on anything, it has to like sound fucking badass. And I feel it's not fair for the fans if
I just go up there for them and you to.
If I just go up there and like just kind of like
wing it.
It's not my thing. I don't like doing that. I like being on time. I like being the whole shebang. It's more to me than just fuck yeah, it's gonna be fun for everyone. That's cool. I like to have fun. Fuck yeah, but it also has to be good. So that's the reason I couldn't make it.
So let's backtrack a bit. So take me back to when they said, "Hey, we're gonna record. You guys are gonna record your first album." What happened?
So we started working. We
and what year? What year was this?
That was probably 2006. That came out in what 2008? Yeah. So it's 2006, about to be 2007. And you're like, yeah, you guys do have more songs and. I believe I said yes, but we were thinking about the songs from the demo, and then we're like, no, we're not gonna put those in. Might as well make new songs. So we took a few months to.
Well, I think you only put one of that demo,
which is the Evil Within. Yeah, it's made it from 4 points. To,
it's the only song that's ever made it on every release.
I actually like that song. That's a cool song.
It's a good song, dude.
So we took a few months off to just write. We were all young at the time too. We had part-time jobs. We had so much time to just write, and just do all that stuff. Most of the guys were still in school, so it was cool.
Talk closer than the bad boy, man. There you go. Don't be shy.
I like to lean a little bit.
I know.
So we were doing. We took a few months off, and this was the first time we were gonna go to like a big studio that a record label was gonna pay for, right? And we ended up getting a studio in Sacramento. And it was at the the band Tesla. I think it's the bassist studio.
Oh, okay, okay.
Which is really cool if you like Tesla. I'm not a fan, but it was cool to be there. Dude. And just he was full of knowledge and he helped us out a lot as well. But the guy recording us, I forget his name, the original producer for the.
So obviously, if you watched if you watched one of my mini episodes, the one I did on your first two albums, you came back and obviously they know that it was recorded twice. So Feed the Beast was recorded twice.
Yeah, Feed the Beast was recorded twice. We ended up going to to that place, Tesla's studio. We recorded the album. This producer, he's done like Death Angel but recently I think he had done like Rancid and like Papa Roach, I think, or something like that. And he kind of did more of that style that I wasn't into. I was just like, it just doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound like us. I think we were already used to shitty studios. That's why we were like, we need to like record. We finished the whole product. It was done.
Are you ever going to release that version of it or no? I don't even know who has that.
I think Eric stashed it. They own that.
I know. Well,
own
obviously you signed the contract.
So they stashed it somewhere, never to be seen again. Maybe they'll release it. I have
That'd
no
be
clue.
awesome, dude.
I have no clue. Maybe now that I listen to it again, because I have no tracks of, like, I don't know what it sounds like anymore.
Well, that's not true, dude. I think the 2 bonus tracks are from the first.
Aside from Tormenting Voice, no, not Tormenting. Is it Tormenting Voice?
No, Unusual Punishment, and then
yeah.
Capital. No. Severe Violation.
Severe Violation.
There you go.
I thought Civil Servant was.
No, that's not that's actually on the album.
That's how long ago it was. So it sounds like that. Most of them. But I feel like it lost some punch and some flavor that we were used to. The rawness of it from Love Juice. I kid you not. Even we love the Love Juice mix way better. And we recorded at this Tesla studio for about 2 months.
Wow. You put a lot of effort in it.
And we didn't like it. At the end of the day, we were like, this doesn't sound like us. It sounds... The producer changed it too much, and we didn't like it at all. I think things were a little bit slower. We were so used to just going way faster.
Now, were you guys doing click tracks?
At the studio. But not at Love Juice. And for whatever reason, we like that. We like that.
That energy that it gives off?
Energy and that rawness to it. So we ended up listening to it. I think we had like a week with it, and we're like, we don't like it. We told Eric, like, we're not into this. And they kind of were bummed because obviously they put money into this. But we still had a budget that we can... And on our contract, it stated that if we weren't into something, they have to provide a different studio or just a smaller budget to do it. We're like, we want to go back to Love Juice. They're like, for real? So you guys want to go back? We're like, yeah. We
probably
just,
the best decision of your career at that time.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we went back, and I think we only had 1 week to record what happened in 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And it came out fucking great. You know, like, I still listen to some of those songs, and I'm like, holy shit, we recorded this whole album in 2 weeks, and people dug it.
In 2 weeks or a week?
I think
now you're contradicting yourself here.
I said 2. Did I say 1 week or 2?
You said 1, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, 1 week.
Is it 1?
Yeah, 1 week.
That's amazing, dude.
1 week. Yeah, it was crazy. Lay down the drum tracks in 1 day, and the rest was...
Just bam, bam, bam. There's actually footage of... some of the footage on YouTube of you guys recording, I think, in Love Juice.
No, that was in Sacramento.
That was in the Sacramento one.
Yeah,
okay.
that was the Sacramento one. Yeah, it was like we had so much. We even slept over. Like we drove up there to Sacramento. We
and you were just what, early teens or late teens? I should say.
I was probably 19. 19. I was probably 19. Tripping me out. It was I was 19 at the time, and the rest of the guys like 18, 17, 16. And yeah, we drove up there. It was a fucking surreal experience. It was phenomenal. And we stayed at the guy. He had like bunk beds, and it was like a whole thing, like a whole living thing. It was pretty cool.
So
the experience of recording was cool. Mm-hmm. Just the end result, I wasn't into.
Well, so question then. Is the 2 bonus tracks, is it the reason why you did you guys ever re-record those, or you just took the ones from the first sessions because you didn't have enough time to record them? If that makes sense.
That was actually a suggestion from the guys at Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, they were like, hey, how about you guys, fill it up with bonus songs? And I think Japan got a bonus song. I haven't heard it myself, but Japan always gets like an extra bonus song that we don't get here in the U.S. or Europe or Mexico.
It's always how it is, dude.
Yeah. So I'm sure they got a different one, but yeah, that was their suggestion, and we were like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, having like some bonus songs from that session. And that was
most
really
people
cool.
don't know that.
No.
Until now,
twice. And I remember you said that it was recorded analog. It wasn't recorded.
It wasn't recorded analog.
No,
okay.
It was all digital. Both sessions.
Thanks for telling me that, because I was always told from, I think the guys in the band that they was done analog or something.
Yeah, because Feed the Beast, Love Juice obviously doesn't do analog. It was all digital. And then that guy's, it was a bigger studio, but it wasn't analog. We got to cut in and do all that stuff. So Definitely not analog. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. I mean, it's
Probably
very
would have taken a lot
warm.
more time.
It's very warm. It's a very warm sounding record, so I would have believed that it was. You know?
Analog, yeah. No, it wasn't. But yeah, it was. The end result with Love Jews was freaking pretty cool. We all liked it. We're like, damn, this is what we sound like. This is what we wanted. The guy Dave captured us. We've been there before, twice before, so he knew what we wanted out of this.
And Eric was obviously happy that you were happy.
Exactly, and everything. It got delayed a little bit, but it happened, and everybody was happy, and then it got released.
So what was the reception for it when it first came out?
Well, I think we came out on that Thrashing Like a Maniac.
That was the first. Yeah, the first time that Eric, I think, you guys were on an Eric release was that compilation.
Yeah, and we had. So they were trying to build a scene as well. So they got all these bands. They had Warbringer, us, bands like Mutant, Gamma Bomb, SSS, all these bands from all over the place, and they were trying to throw this compilation out. And I think we were Immortal Life. They had Evil as well on that compilation, and they were just trying to build off that. So that was the first taste that everybody got from Bonded by Blood. So people were already
what was Immortal Life?
So people were anticipating Feed the Beast. It came out, and the first initial reaction was, "This is pretty cool," and we started getting booked everywhere. People don't know that, but a lot of like the first tours, I booked. We didn't have a booking agent, so the first like Thrashing Like a Maniacs and stuff like that, I had a lot to do with booking and doing all that stuff until we got a booking agent, which I was very hesitant about because then they get a cut, and I like keeping the pie for my art at least. It's very hard to do so when you're in a label, anyways, because
they own everything.
Yeah, exactly, and it sucks. But sometimes it makes you legit in a way where like people will listen to you, bigger venues will listen to you.
Right, because just because you're signing a label,
exactly.
Yeah, people
you could be the greatest band in the world, but if you're not signed,
they
don't care.
Yeah,
and they'll answer the phone. Whatever. It is what it is. But we ended up going on that Thrashing Like a Maniac tour with. It was supposed to be Fueled by Fire. They couldn't make it, I think, and it was the first time we toured with Merciless Death, and the only time we toured with Merciless Death. But that was cool. That's when I befriended Gio. Became really cool with them. I think our first show was in Sacramento, and we did that leg of the tour, and we did the West Coast. I think it was just the West Coast tour. I'm not 100% sure. And people dug it. Not a lot of people would come into the shows. Bigger cities like maybe Seattle and Portland, we got a good crowd. Aside from that, it wasn't like packed shows, blah blah, like we were used to here at home in LA and all that stuff. It wasn't until we did the Feed the Beast. We released Feed the Beast, and then we did a tour with Ex Mortis in Witch Haven, and I think we did Masters of Disaster tour.
Okay.
I forgot what year that was, but that's the year that people started noticing us a lot more. That's the year that Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse came out to see us in Tampa. People were just showing up from different bands that I was just like, whoa, you guys are really into this stuff. And then we went to Europe, and then we blew up.
Okay, so this is right before Exiled, I'm assuming.
Yes,
okay.
Right before Exiled. And we did Europe with Gamma Bomb, Suicidal Angels. Yeah, that's it. I was gonna say Evil, but no, that was like the Thrashing Like a Maniac tour out there.
Gotcha. So I mean, obviously, all I heard was the backlash from this record.
Oh, did you?
For whatever reason. So.
Oh well, yeah, I remember that too.
It's okay. So there's two sides of the coin.
So
with
now
this
I remember
record.
that. Now you reminded me.
So
a lot of people disliked my vocals. A lot of people disliked what we were about. I mean, it was just like, this isn't thrash and this isn't this.
Well, the problem is there were older folks that grew up with that 80s style of speed metal and thrash.
Exactly.
And they weren't having the new school, like this is our music. It's not. Nowadays it's more like, you know what, it's kind of, it needs like they're more accepting to us.
Of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time, I remember that stuff. I remember that backlash too, yes. But I felt like once we started doing tours, a lot of people, the younger crowd,
Started getting it.
super into it.
Good.
They're like, oh shit, I didn't know people were making this kind of music. I was listening to Slayer and Dark Angel and all this other stuff, but I didn't know newer bands were doing it. So then we started becoming friends with people around the States that would put us up for when we were on tour, that they had their band and they started doing stuff. So that was really cool. And that's the stuff I was paying attention to. You know what I mean? But obviously people still didn't like my style, which is funny because...
Well, here's the thing. People are going to like you and people are not going to like you. You can't please everybody. So
oh, yeah, definitely. That's always been the case, though.
If you're a great musician, that's just what it is.
Shit. It is what it is. And it's funny now because, once I left Bonded, it was
yeah, it's just really weird how that happened. Like,
where are you? What happened? And I'm like, man, all you guys used to talk shit. But it's cool. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I love making music, and it was cool. So after Bonded... After Bonded. After Feed the Beast.
Yeah, I was going to say. We still have more to talk about for you.
So after that, Thrashing Like a Maniac, I think we did a different European tour with Fueled by Fire.
Okay.
I got those mixed up. Yeah, it was Fueled by Fire and Suicidal Angels.
Okay.
And the one before that was with Gamma Bomb. I'm not sure if Eva was on that.
I'm going to have to look in my research here, but... Yeah, it's okay. So after the tour, you came back to the States, and obviously, we had Thrasher de Mayos and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. I remember the first time I saw you guys, obviously, was probably the tour after that or something. Or when
the
you
one
probably
with Exodus?
No, the one, whatever, Evil Dead. Yeah, I saw the Exodus tour too, but the one with Evil Dead, they played, you guys played in...
the Thrasher de Mayo.
Yeah, I'm only talking Thrasher de Mayo right now, so...
the one we played.
Yeah, that was when you first came on my radar.
We played 2 Thrashos. First I thought we only played one, but we played one at the Knitting Factory.
And you played one at that, God damn it, Ultraviolet or something like that.
Yeah, in L.A. somewhere.
Yeah, it's closed down now.
I forgot what it was called.
I think it's called the Ultraviolet.
Something like that. But it was like a warehousey type of place, right?
Right.
Yeah. We did those 2 Thrasher de Mayo. I mean, Thrasher de Mayo was awesome.
It was awesome for us when we played the last one.
Yeah. So Thrasher de Mayo, we always wanted to be a part of it. We only got to play that one at the Knitting Factory, which is really cool, and it showcased all the bands in the LA area and around us that was growing. And I think who threw it? The Fueled by Fire guys, right?
By Fire, yeah.
Yeah. So they threw it, and I'm glad we got to be a part of that one in the Knitting Factory before the Knitting Factory closed down, and then we got to be a part of that other one, which by that time we were doing Exile to Earth, I believe.
Yeah. So, recording Exiled right after Feed the Beast or whatever, like what was the expectations from everybody? The label, you guys, was there pressure? Was there...
Well, once we came back from Europe from Feed the Beast, Ruben left. So we had that hit us, right? And
do you know what for?
He had, just like us, we were all not really making money off this, and we don't come from like a rich family. We couldn't, we had to work, and we were all living on different couches and doing this and that and just couch surfing everywhere, and he needed to pay rent and do all these things. So it was more like a monetary thing, and I understood right when he told me. I was like, I get you, if you want to leave, then you can. And nobody's gonna hate you for it. Like it's fine. Like we're not gonna be like, oh. So we left on good terms, no bad blood, nothing. And it was sad to see him go because he did start the band with us, and he had that sound, that bass sound. He had more of a funky sound, and I really liked that. So it was sad to see him leave. But luckily, Jerry came in and
how did you meet him?
I've known Jerry for a very long time. When he was doing Taking Over.
Okay.
I actually met him at a party in Colton. They were doing like a going away party, or something happened where they got kicked out of a house. They all lived together, and they got kicked out of that house, so they were just jamming out in their living room, or used to be their living room. And like, it's our last day at this house, and we're just gonna do a jam. If you want to come to Colton, Taking Over is gonna play. All right, cool. So I go to see him play. We became friends.
What year?
This was probably 2007, 2008.
Okay, so right before Feed the Beast came out. Okay.
So he was doing that. Oh, no, Taking Over. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. So that was before that. That was probably 2005.
Okay.
When I first met Jerry. And I had him on MySpace, I had him on Facebook, and I just messaged him, "Hey, are you doing bass? What are you doing right now?" He wasn't in Taking Over anymore, and I hadn't seen him active in any other band. And he's like, "Hell yeah, I'll be cool to fucking try out." Blah blah. We gave him a few songs, and he ended up trying out. And that same day we told him, "Yeah, like yeah, you can do it. That's fine. Are you ready to do shows? Are you ready to tour?" And he was pumped. He did it. He picked it up, and he picked everything up quick, and became friends ever since then.
So you get Jerry, and immediately start writing. So walk me through the writing process, musically wise, not the whole story. I'll get to that separately, but
well, we get Jerry, and we still do a few like Feed the Beast stuff shows. We weren't in a rush to do Exiled. That came after probably what year was 2010.
2010, yeah.
Yeah, so we came back from tour, so we had a few years still before we even were thinking of writing Exiled. So he was doing some shows with us. He was doing a few tours with us to still tour for Feed the Beast. And we got into writing mode. And when we got into writing mode, the funny thing about Exiled, and you see a difference between Feed the Beast and Exiled. So I got to put a little bit more my flavor into that. And during tour and during all that, me and Jerry would talk about all this sci-fi stuff and all this comic book stuff, and he was super into it, and we went crazy on it when it became we brought the idea up to the guys, like, what would you guys think if we did some sort of concept album, like super sci-fi? He's super extreme into like all these conspiracy theories, so we mixed those two together and did a whole like sci-fi conspiracy thing, and that's how you get Exiled. And I had a lot of fun writing that album, man. Like, I had a new bassist with a whole different style, and he actually had a lot to do with Exile. That's why you get that different flavor on it than Feed the Beast.
It's a little bit more technical.
Yeah.
So
and he brought that to the table.
Oh, he did? Okay.
He definitely brought that to the table. He had that style that Ruben didn't have. Ruben was a little bit more funky. He laid back a little bit with the guitar.
I noticed Carlos contributed a lot, though, on that record, too, musically wise. So.
Oh, music, yeah. He changed it up a bit. But at that time, everybody was kind of stepping up their game, and we listened to a whole different type of style of music. We kind of had more. We were a little bit more determined on what we wanted. We were more focused on what we wanted to be as a band.
Well, that's what that record is. It's a more focused.
Oh, definitely.
Record for you guys. Probably, in my opinion, still the most focused record as a cohesive package kind of deal.
That's actually my favorite. Some of my favorite stuff that I've done with Bonded is on Exiled. The title track, Exiled, just when that bass riff comes in.
Well, the last song in it is fucking extremely like hard cross-examination. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you sang that over that.
I know. That's crazy.
The riffs are all over the place.
Exactly.
I think that was mostly a Juan song.
Oh, definitely a Juan song. At that time, Juan was already into Nevermore.
God damn.
All these like things that he wanted to interpret into the band. He wanted to make sure that his influences were shown. And when we did Feed the Beast, he was a new guy. It felt like he didn't really have a say. It was just we were all kind of trying to find ourselves. When Exiled came, everybody already knew each other. We spent so much time in a van together, in a bus together. It was a lot easier to communicate musically, and we knew what we wanted, and it came out great. It's
still one of my top. I mean, I tell you this all the time. It's still one of my top favorite albums.
And then we had fun. It was the first time we ever had a music video, and it was really fun. I mean, it was so over the top. I loved it. It was awesome. The Krong, that whole story.
Well, let's back up here. So musically wise, obviously it's a more technical style album. Lyric wise, obviously it came from like a comic book, sci-fi meets real life scenario that it could technically happen.
Yeah. So it was like post-apocalyptic, sci-fi.
And it's left on a cliffhanger. Yeah. If you actually read the lyrics. The
little comic book came with the comic book that I don't have either.
I don't even have it, dude. Yeah.
It's funny, like
even though there's a video of you holding it up,
yeah.
You never
and
got one.
I don't even have the comic, right? That's crazy. I just recently, actually, at that reunion show that I did with them, guest vocal thing for Exiled.
That was, I think it was Immortal. I think it was Immortal Life or
Mind
Pollution.
I did Mind Portals, but
Mind Pollution.
Mind Pollution.
Mind Portals is off of another thing.
But yeah, I finally got my XL Turd vinyl. That was the first time I ever got one.
That's right.
Yeah. So it was insane because I left while they were touring for Exiled. So I didn't get to do much of the Exiled touring. I didn't get to get much of the merch or any of that stuff. Feed the Beast, I have tons of stuff. I have posters, I have flyers, I have all kinds of stuff.
We might be talking, dude. I want some of that stuff too.
So I have so much stuff from the Feed the Beast era, from different bars, different venues, different bands we played with. You know, I did a lot of cool stuff with Agent Steel. I mean, me and Juan Garcia became a good friend of mine from Agent Steel. He actually booked us for we played a bunch of weird shows, man. Like a lot of people don't know, we played with like Twisted Sister, we played with Gore, we played with Agent Steel, we played with Green Jelly. There was a lot of random bills we were on, which is really cool. But yeah, Juan Garcia was one of the biggest fans. Like they really wanted us to play with him all the time, which is cool. I think he's doing like a
Body Count now.
Yeah.
So
which is really cool too.
Walk me through this. So once it's all written, right, you go into the studio. So take me there.
We did this. Whoa, who did we do it with? Ralph.
Ralph Pallet.
Yeah. He did a few stuff for Megadeth, and I think he did some stuff for Korn, stuff like that.
He's I mean, he does every White Wizard album. I think
Cool.
Other people.
Oh yeah,
know
he
that.
did White
So,
Wizard. That's the reason that we got in contact with him because
they're signed to Earache and you guys are
exactly.
Okay.
So, but he did we liked the stuff he did for Megadeth. We liked the stuff, the stuff he did for Megadeth. That's the stuff that was like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it with him. We want something similar to that production, and so we went with him. We stayed in Arizona at his house. He had a home studio. That guy was awesome. I need to message him and see what he's doing.
You should.
And he was the coolest guy ever. He let us stay at his house. We did the whole thing. I think we knocked it all out in about 3 weeks to a month.
That's fast.
Yeah. And it's funny because he had never heard my vocals before. And he was a little surprised when he heard me. He's like, so it's supposed to be like that, right? Because he was like thinking I was going to do some growling or something totally different. And he dug it. And he got, I think, a better voice out of me. If you compare Feed the Beast with Exiled.
It's night and day, dude.
Oh, yeah. And I love the Exiled version of my voice a lot better than I do the Feed the Beast.
It's still my favorite era of your voice so far.
Well, I actually love the Macrocosm voice.
Well, no, but
now.
that's good. It's good, but it's just that era is very special to me because when you discover a band, that's.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. So, the Exiled, that's what happened. Ralph had a lot to do with it. He's like, do this, do that, some breathing techniques. Maybe try to do it. I was trying to give him the idea and my vision of what I wanted it to sound like, especially on a concept album like that. And like in certain moments, I needed to sound like freaky, weird, captive kind of voice, and
some more reverb here.
Yeah, exactly.
Area.
He helped a lot, and he knew what he was doing. Love this guy way better than the first time we went out to the bigger studio in Sacramento. I never told you I met the dude from. Side note, I met the dude from Papa Roach.
Yeah,
at that studio. And the funny story, it was a funny story because something happened where one of the. I think they were recording with a Mesa Boogie amp, and one of the what's it called? The tubes blew, and the producer was like, "Oh, I know a studio down the way, and he can let us borrow a head. He has one." Okay, cool. He didn't let us know it was the Papa Roach guy. He was just saying, "Hey, there's this guy that has a studio." Okay, cool. We all went down the street. It seriously was like 5 minutes away, and we knock on the door. He opens the door, and this is during the time that he was on that show on MTV, Scarred. I don't know if you've ever seen that show. It was kind of like a
I don't know if I remember that.
It's kind of like they did. What did they do?
It's probably like one season type show.
Like when they failed, like when people do like BMX or they fall off the BMX and they get like their bones are broken. I don't know, like fails, like skateboarding fails and
like
BMX
fails,
and like bails, stuff like that. So that's what he did, and he'd always be on there and be like, "Scored!" I don't know. You gotta look it up. It wasn't a one season. It lasted for a while, and he was the host.
Really? Okay.
So he had
I'm
that whole
do my
like,
research.
If you ever see like the first Papa Roach stuff, he had like the little spiky hair at first. So I didn't recognize him. He had like the whole scene guy hair. He's like, he opens the door.
And he's in his 30s at this time.
Yeah. So he, so he opens the door and he's like, "Come in, guys." And I'm like, "Cool, whatever." I thought it was just like some other producer guy. I go in. He's like, "So you guys are gonna borrow that, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool." He's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, "Oh no, man, the guy sent us to get this amp thing. It's cool though, right?" And he's like, I'm from Papa Roach. And I remember looking at him and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I can still borrow the amp, right? And I just walked away with the amp. I didn't know what he wanted me to say. Like, what do we say in that situation?
Exactly. Like, I don't even.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how I was supposed to react.
Anytime somebody says, "Do you know who I am?" It's probably a bad, probably a time to stop this conversation.
It was funny, dude. But yeah, that was my celebrity interaction. That's the first time I ever met Papa Roach, the greatest guy to ever roll the earth. He was
next is Power Man 5000.
Yeah,
dude.
My next album is actually going to be dedicated to Papa Roach. I'm gonna cut my life.
Well, after this interview, it better be, dude.
Yeah, definitely. Watch he actually watches this, it'd be hilarious.
That'd be awesome, dude.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm sure he's doing. I think they're still doing stuff. I'm not sure.
I think they're still playing festivals.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're like Limp Bizkit. They just never stop. Dude.
Hey, at one point I was.
They
really
play
into
Download
Limp
every year, probably, dude.
Hey, that's funny. I remember doing like European tours, and there was always like big old billboards, like humongous billboards of like Fred Durst's face. It was just his face, like Limp Bizkit at whatever city it was. I was like, oh shit!
It's so funny.
I mean, I would actually love to go to a Limp Bizkit show just to like see the people. And like
I wonder who still goes to Limp Bizkit shows.
What happened?
I wonder who still goes.
No, that's exactly what I want to see. I'm like, what? Like, who's here? Why are you guys here? What the fuck is going on? But I mean,
their stuff doesn't hold up well.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, it's funny now.
So let's get on track real quick. So you do the record, right? It comes out. What is the reception for it at this point? Because you've made an album, before.
So there was a difference. I mean, there was people. It was like, I either like it or I hate it. And especially people that were really into Feed the Beast, they felt like we were straying away from the whole pure, fast, in-your-face thrash, right? Which...
Even though this is like a million times faster almost than...
To me, it was a lot heavier, a lot faster, and a lot better.
It's just a lot... And it was more technical. Maybe like the technical aspect is what turns people off.
And some people get turned off by that. They want the whole in-your-face, raw... I don't want any little noodling here and there. I want just raw thrash, and that's it. And if you give me something else,
Feed the Beast to listen to, right?
If you give me something else, then I hate it. And I personally thought it was awesome. People, 50-50. And at this time, I was already going through the whole I'm leaving Bonded. So I really wasn't listening to what everybody was saying. I was really happy with the outcome of the album. People to this day gave me compliments about it. They're like, I love Feed the Beast, but Exiled came out and it kind of changed the game in a way for you guys, and you guys evolved into something I really want. I couldn't wait for the third album. You know what I mean? Like, I wish you could kept on with the whole Krong thing and what happened and all this crap, which is cool. But like I said, at this time, in my head, I'm already leaving Bonded. So I was going through, inner band stuff where Exile was about to come out. I'm on this tour with Exodus. Awesome. Touring with
I want to say it came out on that tour.
It came out on that tour. And that tour is when I announced that I was leaving.
Gotcha, because I remember buying it at the last show I think you ever played with Bonded.
At the Galaxy.
At the Galaxy.
Will forever be the Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I remember Mario came on stage for the final night of that whole...
Yeah.
I forgot what song he sang.
I think it was Immortal. I think it was Immortal. It was
something off Feed the Beast, I remember. Yeah. But I remember him singing it, and then immediately you just kicked him off the stage because you're like, this is my time. Get the fuck off my stage.
Well, the funny thing about that was that I wasn't really told that he was going to do that until that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were talking about... They already knew I was leaving. I had already announced it on Facebook and MySpace.
And take me back real quick. What was the reasoning for your dismissal? Or
there was different things at that time. A lot of stress was going on. We were doing back-to-back tours, and I know people are like, fuck yeah, I would love to have that life, and oh man, I wish...
No, you don't, dude.
No, yeah, exactly. I wish I was doing this 24... Like you, how could you leave all this? And I feel like it was at Bonded by Blood's like peak. Not to take anything away from the third album, but
it's a great record in its own right, just like...
But for me, I felt like we're doing so great. Everybody was doing everybody was on time. Everything was just so cohesive at the time. You would think that nothing was going on, and that was wrong. You're doing all these tours. You're set up to do another European tour. I think we're going to do a tour with Death Angel. Well, they still did it. We had all these plans, and I decided it was just too much going on at the time. Behind the scenes, I was handling a lot of the managing, a lot of the interviews, like late at night, a lot of just the business side of it.
So why is that? How come none of the other guys, did they not want to take control, or did did they not just
I
get the
took
offer?
Control of that in the beginning.
Okay.
And as the band got bigger, it just kind of was more stress. And when I did give certain jobs to certain people, it either wasn't getting done or it took forever to get done. And like if you want to do things right, you do yourself kind of thing. That's what I was doing.
You're looking at somebody who does that.
And I just trusted myself a lot more, because if I'm the type of guy, if I really want to do something,
you'll do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Obviously, you're here.
Exactly. So that's what it is. And as much as I trust the other guys in the band, they weren't really that type. They didn't have that personality. They were more like, I'm here to play. Which
and that's
is cool.
That you
exactly.
you still need that in a band.
You definitely do. But for business wise, it's if you have too many chefs in one kitchen, it just isn't.
I always do the rooster and the hen thing. You have to have a rooster. You can't have all hens because it's not gonna.
Exactly.
You have to have.
Exactly.
You have to have that asshole, dude. And I'm that asshole.
No, definitely. I'm just an asshole in general. So
That's why we get along so well.
You see what
it's
you
great.
get. What you see is what you get.
Yeah,
that's me.
Exactly, dude.
So that was going on, but it got to a point where it was too much, where people were saying like, "Oh, you're not doing enough, and you're not this, and you're not." I'm like, seriously, guys, like, it was just we were spending way too much time together. It was back-to-back tours. It was like having 4 different girlfriends. Like, you can't with different personalities.
You can't hang with it.
It's just so much things that you have to like make sure this person satisfied, this person satisfied, this person. It was a lot of drama between them, and then I was like the dad in a way, like, no guys, like, stop fighting here, and then at the end it was like, no, like, fuck you kind of shit, like, what the hell, not necessarily those words, but it was just kind of like I couldn't take that anymore.
In essence,
yeah.
I always thought it was, because I know this played a key part in it too. There was 2 things. You were going back to school.
That too.
And you needed to pay rent, which I totally get that too.
That too. So it was not just that.
It was just a combination.
It was a combination of everything. It was a combination of a lot of things.
Because I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was definitely money. I couldn't afford to be anywhere and do anything, and I was getting into my mid-20s
with no job,
exactly.
resume.
I mean, I was doing back-to-back tours, and that's fun and all and dandy, and that's cool, and people know me. But I don't want to be on a couch somewhere like for the rest of my
stable.
life. Exactly. And living in California, it's expensive. LA area. I live in LA. I don't mind I live in LA, but I live in LA County, so they tax me the same, and it's just expensive. I couldn't do it. There's no way I couldn't afford it. Any sort of money we got in went back to the band, and I'm very
or label.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very like conservative when it comes to my money, and I make sure I kept us all either. I was never in the red, and I always made sure that we were at least what's it called, even with everyone. Like there's times where we actually did come back with money, not enough to pay rent, but we came with money, and that was good. But I just couldn't do it
on
as a long-term thing.
So,
after that, though, also the way things are going, because we were already writing for the next album, and I just didn't like the way things were going. They wanted to go more on like a
musically
type of vibe, and I felt like we were straying away too much from our roots. It wasn't my vibe. So I just felt like everything was changing to a point where I needed to leave. It was my turn to go, and I had talked to Alex about it for a while, and I talked to Jerry about it, and then to Juan, and they all agree with me. The only person that was kind of iffy was Carlos, and he's like, well, how can you do that? Like, I felt like I disappointed the guys. I understand. We were together for so long, and to just say one day, hey, you know what, like,
it's my time.
Leave. It was a very hard decision to make. It was very, very hard. It was my baby. I mean, I saw it grow. We did all these things I never thought I was gonna do. Toured Europe, toured all these other places at such a young age. It was a very, very hard decision to make, and but I made it, and I don't regret it at all.
You should. I mean, they're doing fine. You're doing fine. It's just.
And so then once all that happened.
Now back up real quick. The label. So when the label found out, did they contact you or anything like that? Were they kind of upset? Would they what was the vibe like with that aspect?
After that happened, we had just gone into a manager at the time.
Okay.
Which is Marco, which manages Warbringer, which manages Exmortis now, I believe, and then he used to do Century Media. He was a head guy at Century Media, and now he has his own label. And I think Novarain is on that label now. M Theory, right?
And White Wizard, yeah, those two.
M Theory. So that's really cool. He was like, he took us on. I actually tried really hard to get him. I saw what he was doing with Warbringer. I felt like, okay, maybe that's gonna take some stress off me, and he can handle that side of it. Because up to that point, I was still doing everything, making sure I was handling stuff with the booking agent, making sure all the business stuff, right? And I just needed some help, and he stepped in. It was hard to convince, get him to sign. At the time, he was focusing on just Warbringer, I believe, and he had a few side projects, but Warbringer was his baby. And I kept sending him demos. I kept talking to Al from Eric, which is the label guy at Eric, and I'm like, man, I really want to get this guy to push us to the next level, to do some bigger shows and blah blah. And he finally agreed. He's like, well, okay, let me hear the demos to your next stuff. I think it was Exiled. We got him right before Exiled, and he heard him, he liked him, and we signed a management agreement with him. Contract, and then I left, and he was like surprised. He's like, I just became your manager. How did this happen? What was going on? I explained it all to him. He's a very, very reasonable guy. I still talk to him to this day. He's an awesome dude. And he agreed, and he understood what I was doing, and he wished me luck, and we parted ways. So that was my parting with Marco. I think I had told Al from Eric as well, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, no way, how are you? You're like the face. How are you leaving? What's going on? You seemed very happy every time you came through the New York office. You didn't seem bummed at all. We always would talk through emails, and nothing was going on. And then I let him know as well. I had a conversation with him. I picked up the phone. I told him what was going on. He's like, I totally understand. But let's talk to Digby, which is the head honcho of Eric up in Nottingham in England. And that was a conversation that, was he agreed with me as well, but he's like, you also are on a contract and blah, blah, blah. I told him, look, I understand if I have to pay some fine or something, I'll do it. He didn't make me pay no fine or anything. He understood that, I had to leave because of personal reasons, and he let me be, but not without trying to convince me to still stay. So once they got Morrow, they were doing a tour or something like that, and our press agent at the time, her name was Talita. She did press for like Municipal Waste and like all the Eric bands, Deicide and whatnot. She flew out to do press for that tour, and she's like, I'll fly you out to Texas. You just gotta still be in this band. Like, there's no way you're leaving. How can you leave? There's no way. And so they tried to convince me to fly out to Texas while Morrow was still in this band. I'm like, they announced him that he's in this band. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I made my decision, and I'm sure they'll do a great job with him on board. And I've known Morrow for a long time. He used to go to the Mutant House. We didn't even touch the Mutant House yet. So we're
going to the bonded days.
We used to go to the Mutant House, and he was on Mutants of War. I think he's still doing that. And he was always that guy, like with the bright pants, and so I knew who he was. And he's always been a big fan of Bonded. And before I left, I think Marco sent him a list of people they could replace me with, and he was on that list. And I feel there was other guys. I think David do you remember Tyrant?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think he was on that list. I don't know if they ever contacted him or whoever else was on that list, but there was a lot of people on that list, and I guess Morrow made the cut. I mean, he lives really close to them, and it just works out.
It's a great fit. I can tell you, I've been around those guys ever since your departure.
Yeah, so I'm sure it was easy transition. Like, oh, he's down the street, we can do it. He's good. He does his thing. You know what I mean? So It was a good. I didn't want to go.
And now
on.
Marl's like you, dude. He gets shit on, like, for whatever reason.
Well, that's gonna happen. Look,
It is, dude. It kind of sucks to see, though.
If you come into a band that has 2 albums already plus demos, and you're gonna take over, it's definitely gonna be hard to.
Depends on the band. Dark Angel did just fine
Oh
with that
yeah,
one.
I mean, and then there's Iron Maiden and all these other bands. There's all these exceptions to the rule, always.
Exodus is like that.
Exactly.
I mean, how can you place Paul Bailoff?
Exactly. But it happened to him, and it sucks, but it's the shit that you have to go through. While I was in Bonded, I got shitted on all the time.
I remember
that shit sucks. The vocals suck.
And then
everything else
as
is
soon
better.
as you step out, you announce you're leaving. Oh fuck, he was the greatest singer of all time.
So it happens like that all the time, though, and it's funny because I remember people being like, the music rules, but that vocalist got to go, and all these stupid shit. But you don't have to.
Yeah,
pay
but once you
attention to
go,
that
then people are going,
stuff.
"Oh,
I
fuck,
missed
what
that.
the
That
hell?"
was the greatest thing in the
Like
world.
now I can't complain. It's like when Kobe left the Lakers. It's like, oh shit, wait. You know,
That's just how it is, and whatever. He just has to keep on going. I hope they still play shows.
I hope they do too.
I hope they still do. I mean, at one point, I would love to do an Exile to Earth reunion. I'm not against any of the reunion things. I'd love to do it. I'm sure Jerry would love to fucking be on it as well, and do like a one night thing with them. You know, it just has to be right place, right time kind of thing. And,
Well, if you do, consider us to open, please.
and you know, if I had the reins to that stuff, and like, I would love to do it like at the Glass House. It's in Pomona. It's our hometown.
Of course, that's a
At
great
the
venue
Glass
too, dude.
House, and on a weekend, and that would be fucking killer with some killer old school like bands that we played with before, like Witch Haven and Ex Mortis and all those bands from the Meeting House. That would be like a to me like a fucking badass reunion and a throwback to those days.
Well, I mean, a lot of those bands aren't around anymore
Well,
too. So you
Ex
gotta
Mortis is there, Witch Haven is there. We can do something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't do stuff with like maybe Vector, and that would have been super cool because those guys, honestly, every time we went to Arizona before they moved to Philly, they always welcomed us with like open arms, and they were one of the coolest motherfucking bands in Arizona ever. Because we played Arizona way before we were signed, and we had to play with like those bands that were like Korn and like Disturbed clones, and we knew nobody out in Arizona that actually played like the type of music we were playing until we met Vector, and they introduced us to their scene and in Phoenix and whatnot, and all those shows always fucking ruled. And so I miss those guys too, man. I'm so sad that they actually broke up because they're, as Balmore says, phenomenal. So I mean, I seriously wish they were still around, especially now that Macrocosm's around to do some shows, because those guys are fucking awesome. Blake, one of my good friends, and oh man, he's such a phenomenal drummer. Phenomenal. I really hope fucking Balmore is listening. This is hilarious.
It's a good time, right? So walk me through the music video process for I believe it was Prototype Death Machine.
Prototype Death Machine. That was a really cool. We did it in, what city was it? We did half of it in Long Beach, and then the other half in Koreatown, in LA. And the Long Beach part was mostly the outside where we're like walking around. If you've ever seen the video, is where we're like
You're
outside
shooting the robot.
stuff.
You're shooting the cyborg,
And then we did some of the stuff in this like warehouse type of deal that we rented out.
So cool.
Yeah,
With scientists and all that shit. Yeah.
In Koreatown, and like some of the stuff was shot up on the roof of that warehouse, and some of the stuff was shot up inside, and that was really fun to do, man. I think we did that in a few days. We kept driving up there, had a few days off, and just had some fun. That was really cool. It was a little bit, repetitive because they play the background music and you just got to do it over and over and over again until they get it right and get like a billion shots.
Now, was Carlos actually drumming? Did he actually have to drum?
He had to drum, yeah.
Okay.
So they blasted the music really loud, and he was just drumming. So he actually had to drum. The rest of the guys were just pretending.
And then you had to pretend to sing.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. It just
you're like, wait, this is me singing, but it's not
it's
me.
going, and you're like it's just weird as fuck.
And you have to make your facial expressions like all legit.
Like, yeah, it's hilarious, but it came out really well. I liked it. The guy was super cool about it. He's like, oh yeah, I know a guy that can make he does cosplay shit, and he's gonna do the suits.
This is your Mohawk days.
Yeah, I had the little Mohawk Mexican mullet thing going on, which I really
your cholo cut.
Yeah, my cholo cut. I fucking love that thing. I mean, I really wanted to grow it to really, really, really long. I ended up cutting it off, which is dumb because I first
jobs, man. Damn it.
The reason that I'm actually growing it out again, which is. I always say that too, and then
you cut
during
it.
This stage.
It's like the beard scenario. It's like, oh, I'm gonna grow it out, and then it gets there. Like
it's during the stage where I'm like, I don't.
It's the awkward stage where
exactly.
it looks
so
bad.
I have to wear like a cap. I've always been a cap guy. If you ever see pictures of me, I'm always wearing a damn cap, and people always have to check to see if I'm going bald or some shit. And they're like,
I'm like that too.
And I'm like, no, man, for now I still have hair, so let's hope I'm gonna grow it out before I actually lose it. And then if I lose it, then fuck it. I'll rock the skullet.
Yeah, dude. So you filmed the music video, right? And then that's obviously, was that before the tour happened with
Exodus?
Yeah.
Yeah. We filmed it before that. The director Dave and his crew were fucking awesome. He's never done a metal or sci-fi-ish kind of video before,
or ever since.
And he was pumped. We met him up in Burbank, I believe, and we had coffee. We gave him ideas of what we wanted. He asked me what was my influence for it, what was my vision. I brought him some comic books, and he was like, cool, let's do this. And he was all about it. I brought him like some X-Men, like Cable, Days of Future Past kind of stuff, and he's like, okay, I kind of see where you're going with like the whole robotic thing. And he loved it, and we loved the outcome. It was cool. We got to keep the suit, which is really cool.
I know. I've worn the head of it. Yeah,
I think Quan has it in his garage. It's just super cool. And
the plastic fucking cyborg dome.
Yeah. So we got to keep that. We were happy with the end result, and you can watch it on YouTube.
It's a great video. It's a great song, obviously, too.
And then we created our own costumes and our own guns.
Why Prototype? Why did you choose that tune to be the video?
I really liked it. I felt like it really. It was the way we evolved. Like it was a movement away from Feed the Beast. I felt like it was that one was starts off slow, it's crunchier, it's heavier. So it was like an introduction to Exiled. Like this is what you're gonna get with Exiled. It's not just. I'm
glad you chose that track instead of the title track, just because I feel it's a stronger song.
And the funny thing is, at first the label was like, no, that's a filler song. And I was like, no, this is going to be the one. I forgot which one.
When you're right.
Yeah. They wanted us to do something. I forgot which one they wanted us to do. But I was like, no, we all want Prototype. It just seems like that's the song that needs to happen to make it great. And I'm glad we chose that one. Everybody agreed. It was heavy. It was slow. It was fast. It had different type of moments. And I felt like it showcased what was on Exiled.
It did, absolutely. It had every element of Exiled in that particular track, which was nice. Okay, so you leave Bonded. Marl steps in. Obviously, he does the aftermath. Mm-hmm. So what were you doing in between the time then to, I guess, before Macrocosm?
Okay, so a lot of things happened in between there. I actually wanted to do I had like so many bands that went nowhere. Projects. So
you had Project Wormhole that obviously Steve still does with.
It was just Wormhole at the time. Then it became Project Wormhole after I left. Before that, it was Human Abortion. I wanted to do I've been wanting to do.
That's right, dude. I remember that.
I've been wanting to do like a grind type of band for a long time. I just never got the right people.
I think you still could do that as like a cool like one-off album.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. Well, let me tell you first. I'm going to tell you about all this shit first. But yeah, so. Right after, like right off the bat, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave Bonded. I want to go back to like grittier, nastier shit that I grew up listening to. So I want to do Human Abortion. I remember I posted that, and a lot of people got mad because they're like, Human Abortion, what the fuck, blah blah. I think even David from Havoc got pissed, and what was random to me, I was like, what? Like it's not that bad. He's like, how can you post that? Something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I was like, come on, David. I've known David for a long time too, and good friend of mine. But I was just kind of taken aback, like, how are you mad about this? Whatever. I grew up in the punk scene where if you're fucking out there and you're offending people, you're doing something right. Obviously not in a going out of your way and like fuck you, but just kind of that line you don't cross, but you still kind of there pushing people's buttons. So I liked the human abortion name. I thought it was cool, and where people weren't digging it. And I don't know if you know Scott McCurdy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Dirty
great
McCurdy,
guy.
dude.
Love that fucking guy. Scott, if you're listening to, fucking love you. He lived in Laverne. Well, he still does. I think he lives in Claremont now. But Laverne is right next to Pomona, and he was a big Bonded fan, and we became friends during those years where I was in Bonded. And he knew Andrew. So Andrew lived in Big Bear. And I was asking around for guitarists and looking everywhere for guitarists, because if I just did Bonded, I want to make sure that my next band is, to me, better. You have to evolve, so you have to be better, right? At least in my eyes. And I was looking, I have to have somebody that's either as equal as Alex or better. And you know, Andrew has his own style. He's a little bit more jazzy, which I really love. And the reason I found him was due to Scott. Scott went to school with him, or somehow they knew each other. And he's like, there's this dude out in Big Bear. He plays guitar. He's really fucking good. I'll reach out to him and tell him to hit you up. So the next day, the guy's like, hey, what's up, man? Through email. I think it was like Hotmail at the time or some shit. He sends me one of his like MIDI files that he's done. It was like a transformer thing. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. It sounded really fucking like badass. And I was like, dude, can you come down? He's like, oh, I rarely come down the hill. Big Bear's fucking butt fuck nowhere. And he came down, and we were jamming out for a little bit. He was showing me all his stuff. And I'm like, this sounds really cool. What do you think about human abortion? I think he was a little bit iffy about it too. He's like, I don't know if I want to do human abortion. We might not be able to like get on certain shows, or like not have market to people. And in my head, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Let's do it anyways. But, you know, obviously I take into consideration what people say, that I like him, that he was going to be in my band. Oh, okay, let's see what you bring to the table. And we started jamming and making music, and we're like, you know what? Maybe I should hit up. Jerry had just left Bonded, so it was a perfect opportunity for me to be like, hey, what's up, Jerry?
Reconcile.
Yeah, how have you been? What happened? Why did you leave Bonded? So at the time, Jerry was living in Montclair, which is right next to Pomona as well, and in the IE. And I drove out to, seriously, the day he got back from leaving Bonded, or whatever happened with them, I went to his house. We had a few beers. We talked about the Bonded days. We had a few laughs. You know, I apologized for whatever I ever said when I was in the band. He did the same. So we became buddies again. And I told him I had a project going on that I would, if he wanted to come and check it out and see if he was interested, and I'd love to have him as a bassist. And I think we all jammed out together, and Andrew liked him, and I liked him. Obviously, I already knew that he was badass, and now the problem was finding a drummer. And we tried out a few drummers. One of them was I don't know if you know Half Pint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike
Gross. We tried him out a few times, and he was good.
He was also on Hell Command too.
Yeah, he was on Hell Command at the time. Oh, he had just left Hell Command, I think.
Okay.
Or they had just,
split ways with
split ways.
David of Tyrant.
Dude, Tyrant was such a good band. When
Sucks
they were
what
around.
happened. I know what happened, but
Yeah.
you guys can look that one up.
Such a good band, man. Like at the time, they were just getting a big buzz. I think at one time, Nuclear Blast was gonna pick them up or something. It's crazy, but
I think they ended up picking up Mantic Ritual instead.
Yeah, which was Meltdown at one point, right?
Yeah,
those guys are cool too. So yeah, we tried him out. It didn't work out. I still love Mike's cool. I think he's doing Delusional Fate now. Those guys are cool too. Check them out if you can. They're like a kind of like a Wormhole type of band, Project Wormhole. Like proggy instrumental band.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to new band for me to check out.
Yeah, Delusional Fate. They're cool. I saw them live. The first time I didn't hear their music, I had to see them live. That's what I do most of the time. Like people would suggest bands to me, like friends. They're like, "Oh, this is my band. Check it out," and I go check them out live if they're playing around me. And I'm like, "Oh, this sounds really cool." Then I'll hit the tape, because sometimes the tape doesn't do justice to the live actual show. So they were fucking awesome. I've seen them twice now, I believe. Fucking awesome. Check them out. But yeah, I tried them out. It didn't work out. And Steven, who I think Eric suggested Steven. He's like, he sent me a Facebook message or something like, "Hey, Steven used to be in combat with me." And at the time, Eric was in Witch Haven, so he was doing his thing. he's looking for a band. He's not doing anything at the moment with bands. It's funny because now he's like in 20 bands, but at the moment he was like free, had no bands. All he was doing was like teaching people how to drum. And I'm like, all right, I'll check him out. I hadn't heard him since the Combat days, so I didn't know what to expect. He came out to jam with us, and we went out to Riverside. We used to jam out at this place called Primo's. Which was a fucking
rehearsal place or something.
It was like a warehouse that was across like all these like mechanic shops, and the guy that owned it was like the biggest tweaker in the world. It was just fucking weird, dude. That place is freaking the weirdest place ever. If Steven was here, he'd tell you stories and stories of that guy.
I'll get him on here.
Because that guy would call. Steven was the one that would book us there because he's the one that lives out in Riverside, and that guy would call him like at 3 a.m. Are you guys coming in? Oh, like tomorrow and all this shit. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to go to sleep. What are you talking? And he's like, oh, he was all twagged out. But yeah, we started jamming out there and just heard him once. And I was like, dude, you don't even have to try. Like, seriously, you're that good. And he's like, really? Whatever. Like, he was all just pumped. And, you know, Steven always has a really good attitude. He's
one of my favorite drummers. I've told him this many times, you know.
Hell yeah.
I'll always go see him with Project Wormhole. They play the Doll Hut all the time. I'll fucking just go out and just watch him do his thing,
the guy
you know?
jams so fucking... He makes any band sound fucking awesome. He's just that fucking good. So, yeah, he's great. We said, yeah, everything was fine. Andrew was jamming with us. We were starting making... We made some songs. I did some vocals on some of the songs. I obviously never saw the light of day, but we made some songs. And then Andrew gave us the news that Warbringer they were going to go on tour, and they asked him if he wanted to do, I think it was the Iced Earth tour. Yep. And that kind of stopped a lot of stuff. Like
that was like 2012.
Yeah, that stopped the progress.
Yeah.
For Wormhole with me in it. I think we reached out to Mauricio. Mauricio was already playing with us.
Mauricio Rivera?
Mauricio. Yeah. He
that
did
guy's
a lot of
awesome,
stuff with
dude.
Bonded, and he does a lot of
Gave me
guitar
my
stuff.
cabinet for free, so thanks very much for that,
that guy's
Mauricio.
fucking awesome. He also gave me a bass amp, so that's fucking awesome. Hell yeah, Mauricio. I love that guy.
You're making history here, dude.
He's awesome. If people know Mauricio, people know how generous
He's
and how
awesome
dude he is. So he was doing stuff with us for a while. But it wasn't the same without Andrew, and we couldn't find another shredder guy like that around us for whatever reason. You know, there's so many guitarists around, but it's just hard to get that guy that you mesh with and also is really, really good at doing his thing and not have such a huge ego where it's like, oh, I'm the guitarist and fuck everybody else. Because I've met a lot of guys like that, and it's...
Really?
Yeah, a lot. It's just hard to get that guy. Or he's either in like 20 bands, and it's just hard to fucking get him in and actually rehearse with them. So...
I think I've gotten lucky, dude. I've never met anybody.
I've met so many characters.
Or maybe because I'm that guy that's not really like that guy, but people think I am, so people stay away.
Oh, I get you. I get that all the time, too. So I get you. But yeah, that kind of stopped us, and then we stopped jamming out a lot, and I kind of just parted ways. I kind of gave up on trying to make projects because that happened all the time. There was some sort of...
I'm sad the meeting we had or whatever couldn't have come to fruition, but I was so busy with
we did that too.
With what we
I remember that too. Yeah, so we reached out
just
to
know
you.
I was bummed that I couldn't do it or whatever.
I remember
at the time.
that. Yeah, so we had for people that don't know, we had Wormhole going. Andrew left, right? Mm-hmm. And then we reached out to you to do
I would have loved to have done it. I just had so much shit on my plate
to
at the time.
do some guitar work for that. I don't think Marissa was there. Was he?
It was Andrew. Andrew was at the table. It was us. It was me, you, Jerry, Steven, and Andrew. We all met at a Chili's or something.
Yeah, it was like a Chili's.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you drove down to like Chino or something.
It was far, but I would have loved to have done it. Just know that.
Yeah.
Too much shit.
So that didn't happen, and I feel like Mauricio was the guy after you.
Yeah.
Which.
I would have loved to have seen that too.
Imagine that would have been something. We wouldn't have been talking here right now. We'd be on tour.
Yeah. I don't think you would have. I think you hated tour too much to do it again.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I remember that now. Thank you for reminding me. Damn, that was a long time ago.
See, I'm part of your history. You just don't know it, dude.
I remember now. Yeah, I remember because I checked out some raw stuff and I was like, oh, cool. He could do some like riffing. Let's get him in here and see if he could help us out. It just never. Nothing ever.
Keep me in mind for future things. If I'd be glad to help and be a part of it. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. So then
that's all the stuff happened, and then tell me about the final stages of your career now. You know, Macrocosm is what you're doing now. Obviously, you released this killer EP that people should go check out called Through the Gates of Terra.
Yeah. So after the whole wormhole stuff, me and Jerry and even Andrew, once he came back, we all kind of like disagreed on a lot of stuff, and things were just not the same. And there was small little beef there. Never with Steven. Steven's always been like the neutral guy.
You always had that guy.
Yeah. He's just like whatever. He just wanted to play. So we kind of just parted ways, all of us, and they changed their name to Project Wormhole to, you know, stay away from whatever me and Andrew did.
Well, and I'm glad that they still have that.
Oh, definitely. Know? It's a really cool. I've seen them a few times
amazing.
as well, and
it's awesome.
They're fucking awesome. I think I also introduced them to Roger. So I brought Roger in once Andrew left as well.
That guy's really good too. I had no idea who
he was. A guy. He was like, I think he was a big Bonded fan. Extremely. He had his own like homemade Bonded shirt.
That's awesome.
And now
Roger's the shit, dude. If he's watching, you're the shit, dude.
Don't believe him. Roger's an asshole. I freaking hate him. He knows what I'm talking about. Me and him have a lot of inside jokes. He's probably messaging me right now.
Come on now, Jason.
Talking shit. No, Roger's cool. He used to be in a band called Joker's Wild from Covina. They're from that area, or he's from that area, and he was a big Bonded fan. And like I said, he came in with the back in the. Do you remember ASW?
ASW, is that a wrestling organization?
Yes, it was. And they used to throw shows outside.
It is, huh?
City of Industry.
Amateurs. Oh, god damn it!
Something wrestling, amateur something wrestling. But they used to throw shows in City of Industry.
Amateur sports? No, amateur
area. So they had an outside area. And a lot of bands like Tormentor, it's like Smortis, Warbringer. We also used to play there at this ASW place. I think Fueled by Fire played there as well. There's a lot of bands that went through that place. It was an outside fucking place. And they had rings outside. I think it was across the street from what's that comic book place? In
Anaheim?
No. In City of Industry.
Oh.
Everybody goes to, not comic book, but they have a lot of like
I know what you're talking about. It's just my brain is mine.
Well, you guys know it's off San Jose.
Something collectibles, like forgot what it is.
It's like I don't remember. You guys know. Let me know.
Famous comic book shop. Let us know in the comments.
It's like memorabilia. It has a bunch of stuff, but you can pick up a lot of comic book. I forgot what it is. How could it slip my mind? Regardless.
After this interview, you're gonna be in the car with
Fuck.
That was
so it was. I think it was right across the street from it. I might be wrong, but.
And this is in City of Industry.
City of Industry. So in the 66 area, and a lot of bands went through. There was an outside stage, and everybody used to play out there. So yeah, what was I talking about before that?
We were talking about Macrocosm and how.
Okay. So after I left, all that stuff happened, and I left Jerry and all that stuff. I tried to create a few.
Jerry, he left you.
I left Jerry. Yeah, we divorced. Good thing I had a prenup.
And we were talking about Roger, how Roger came into Project Wormhole. And
then that's how it came in. So that's how ASW came into the picture. I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, he used to go to those shows, and he brought like his homemade shirt. Even for this Macrocosm EP debut show, he brought his homemade Macrocosm shirt, which is really cool. He did it all with marker. I think that I posted a picture somewhere. You guys should check it out.
He's an awesome dude.
Yeah,
I know he's a big fan of Madras. I know too. He always comes out to our shows. It's fucking awesome to see that kind of support. You know,
he's a funny guy. I love
great
him.
Guitar players too.
I love him, and I love to hate him, and he does the same to me. He knows what I'm talking about.
You can start calling him Jason because now
some guy. Ooh, he's your friend, right? He's like, Jason. I miss Jason on the vocals or something.
Like forever known as Jason now, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I could be Jason. That's cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, so then after that, I kind of gave up on making projects just because I felt
like everything you were doing kind of like fell through.
Exactly, and I felt like a lot of people didn't have time. People were getting older and had jobs and kids and all that stuff. People had either other bands to do stuff, and
so
I had a lot of stuff. I talked to a lot of people, and there was beginnings of stuff, but never ever as stable as Macrocosm is now. So after like 5-6 years of doing absolutely nothing with Extreme, I still kept playing music. Me and Vonnie still do like
you do guitar covers.
Yeah, guitar covers, and we're doing actually.
She's a great singer.
Yeah, she's
by the
really
way.
good.
Off note.
And now we're doing like a soul project, like more like Al Green, stuff like that. Because I do love listening to like Bill Withers and Al Green. That stuff.
Wait, you like music too?
Yeah, what the fuck, crazy, right? So I love that stuff, and we do that. That's aside from metal. But with Macrocosm, like I wasn't doing a lot of metal stuff anymore, and out of nowhere, Jerry hits me up, out of the blue. We talked here and there. We weren't having like any issues or anything, but I never thought like, hey, let me make a band together or anything. He just out of nowhere was like, hey, dude, are you doing anything with vocals, or are you still keeping up with that stuff? I'm like, I mean, I can still belch out some vocals if you want me to, or you want me to do some, like, I thought I was going to do some guest stuff on Project Wormhole. Seriously, that's what I thought that was going to happen. And that wasn't the case. He's like, I want to make something like this project started off like, we're going to do some like straight up, just straightforward thrash, which that's not what it is, but that's the idea he gave me. And I'm like, well, I want to talk to you about it. Like, let's go have a beer, talk about it. Let's talk about old times, and then we'll see. Because I don't really know if I want to join a band again with all the drama and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, all right, cool. So we met up in downtown Pomona. We had a few beers. He gave me the idea. He's like, hey, I pitched it to Steven. Steven's all about it. Let's do it. And I was like, well, let's talk to Steven. I just want to see what he has to say. So then Steven came another day again. We had a few beers. We talked about it. And that was it. We're like, yeah, cool. We're going to make like a straightforward thrash band. But with those guys and how great they are at their instruments, how phenomenal they are, you can't keep just a straightforward thrash band. That's not going to happen. Plus me, also, I wanted to show how I have evolved as a musician as well, and as a vocalist. So I wanted to showcase that. And we were doing a few jams with just the bass and the drums. And I was just overlooking the whole thing, not really, just trying to see what we're trying to do. And at the same time, trying to look for a guitarist. And that, for whatever reason, has always been my biggest.
That's really weird, because considering there's so many guitar players.
Right. And that's been the hardest thing. But I'm very picky when it comes to guitars, like extremely picky. People showed up to try out, and I wasn't vibing with them. And they can be really good, but if I feel like I don't vibe with them, I can't have you in the
absolutely,
band.
Especially if you're going to be touring and being in the same band. I mean,
you got to have some sort of
camaraderie,
vibe, right?
Yeah.
So people showed up, and I just wasn't feeling it. And our friend Fabian, he's in a bunch of like indie bands, but he's really into metal. He's a bassist, really good bassist. He ended up recommending JC. Or Juan. That's the first time I ever called you JC, Juan. That's the last time.
Sorry, JC. Juan. You're always known as JC to me.
Juan. It's funny. I have a funny story with Juan, because he's always like, my name. I'm like, why do they call you JC? He's like, because my name's Juan Carlos. And I'm like, oh, cool. So your middle name's Carlos. He's like, no, my first name is Juan Carlos. And the whole time I keep telling him, like, no, dude, your name is Juan.
No, he's
and
JC.
Your middle name is Carlos. And he's like, no, I tell my mom, and my mom told me. So I just like to give him.
He tells his
I
mom.
I just try to give him shit about it. But yeah, anyways, with Juan.
He's a great guitar player.
Oh, yeah,
dude. Super chill to be with. He was with us,
guy.
obviously.
Yeah, he did some stuff with Ross. He told me. And then I was like, oh, never mind. We can't have you on.
Oh, okay. I see that. I see now.
No, I'm just kidding. He gave us his whole like resume. He's like, look, I've done this. And he went to MI and did all this cool stuff. And
that's the only reason why he's not with us anymore, because he was in
had to do
school.
MI, yeah.
It's totally acceptable.
And he had just graduated not too long ago, and he came recommended by Fabian. I was like, cool, this is a cool guy.
You just scared the fucking shit out of me, Benny. Jesus fuck. I should have locked the door.
Look at him.
God
yeah, Benny.
Okay. Anyway.
So we meet JC for the first time. The funny thing, Juan's like, this whole time he's trying out, he doesn't know who I am at all. Mm-hmm. He thought I was just Jerry's friend. And I was just.
Oh God! Is this one of those? Do you know who I am? Scenario
that's exactly.
bullshit.
So I became the guy from Papa Roach.
Oh.
No, I didn't tell him all that. But the whole time he's like, "So when are we gonna get a vocalist?" And I was like, "I am the vocalist." He's like, "Oh, I just didn't know you were like into metal. I just thought you were Jerry's friend." I was like, "What the hell?"
That's a great relationship.
Yeah, because
he
never listened to Bonded and all that stuff. He's into death metal and all this other. So he was never like into like. I'm sure he was into thrash at one point, but he's more of a death metal guy. And I mean, he's also very young. He's way younger than me. And so at first I was that was another thing. I'm like, damn, he's kind of young. I don't know if he should be in this band. Like, we're all a little bit older because we're all late 20s, early 30s. And I was like, but he proved he could do it. I mean, he's adaptable guy, always shows up, always willing to learn. Fucking guy, great to be around with. I like to get him pissed off.
You don't have to tell me twice, dude. I've worked with him before.
I like to piss him off a lot. And we work together now. So I'm actually his boss in the real life.
JC, behave.
I'm going to write him up. But no, he's a cool guy. Awesome guy. And he took it well once Andrew came into the fold. And because sometimes guitarists have that. Oh, I don't like him.
He's worked. Trust me, he's adaptable, dude.
Oh, definitely. And I like that a lot. It'll mold him to be even a better guitarist, especially learning from Andrew. Andrew's a kick-ass guitarist. And how Andrew came into the fold, I started posting videos online about Macrocosm and being in a new band and all this stuff. So I started posting that stuff, and I think I forgot what song it was. It definitely made the cut. It was either Earth Abides or something. I posted it in the early stages of Earth Abides, and Andrew comes into the comments and he's like, sounds pretty bitching. It just needs some leads or some sort of comment like that. And I just snapped back and was like, well, if you were on leads or some sort of comment. And we started talking after that. He's like, well, nobody ever asked me, blah, 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 blah. And I knew there was going to be some sort of like, I didn't know he was not going to want to do it just because it was going to be Jerry again. We had that whole thing with Project Wormhole before, and I don't know how it was going to work out. He didn't know, but that was years already. And I let him know, like, hey, it's been years. It should be fine. And so me and Jerry are cool. Everybody's cool. I told Jerry about it. He's fucking pumped. He's heard you because he had or has a band called Bridge Burner with.
Yeah, my buddy Alex was their vocalist at the time.
With Mauricio's in it too as well, I think. But so he would jam out at the studio with Jerry because Jerry works at his Rev It Up Studios out in Chino. And he would hear him jam all the time. And one day we were sitting in the couch and we could hear him, like, I think it was Memorial Day weekend, like a year or two ago. And I know that just because Facebook always reminds me. There's a picture of it. and we were listening to him jam, like just doing like these solo things. And we're like, fuck, Andrew really does know how to fucking shred. And next thing you know, the comment thing happened, and we brought him in. And he's like, all right, I'll feel it out. We already had some songs, kind of, they weren't done, but they were skeletons of songs. He came in, he heard them. He's like, this sounds really cool, but I don't just want to be a hired gun. I want to actually contribute to the music. And honestly, once Andrew came in, the shape of the band was
complete.
Yeah, and he had a lot to do with a lot of the songs. I just like his style. He understands what I like as grindy stuff, death stuff, punk stuff, metal stuff. He tries to combine all that. So where I'm going to do vocals, and he kind of gets the feeling for that, and I love that because we both agree on a lot of things when it comes to that type of music, the rawness of certain things, the progginess of certain things, and so it clicked right away with him and I, and then the rest of the guys were fucking super into it. And then I took a different approach when it came to Macrocosm. We weren't doing shows right away. We weren't trying to do backyard or any kind of show right away, like off the bat. I was focusing on writing music, and that was it. We're going to go in the studio. I'm going to make sure that this happened. And most of the guys have never done that before.
Well, you're doing it the right way, in my opinion. I tell bands, record a record first, then start playing shows. And have something to promote.
And a lot of the guys weren't doing that. The guys in Wormhole had already recorded their stuff and were already playing shows. Juan has never done that before. He's been in the studio for bands like Deceive. He was in Deceive and all that stuff. And he just had never done it this way. My formula was different than the formula they were used to. So there was like anxiety. There was all kinds of things that we wanted to play. We've been jamming out so long and doing all these, like making all these songs and creating all this music, but there's no shows, there's no nothing. And I'm like, it's fine. It'll all come once we have that recorded. So it took about a year and a half to actually, because, we're all busy. We have real jobs, and then all the other guys are in different bands. Jerry's in Witch Haven and Wormhole, and that's it. And then us. And then Steven's in Wormhole, and he does a lot of
he does a lot of lessons. That's
exactly.
What he's he gives a lot of drum lessons.
He does a lot of that stuff. So he's busy. His schedule's extremely busy. And at the time, he's a full lessons guy now. But he was doing his regular 9-to-5 job, lessons and music. So he had no time, and we would have to do the first few like sessions with Macrocosm. It was like once every 2 weeks and blah blah blah. Now we got like a set date on when we do stuff, and that's good. But yeah, at first it was rough, and I was like, man, maybe this is not gonna happen once again. But I fucking said no. I really like what's going on here. All these guys have what it takes, and they all are fucking badass, phenomenal at their instrument. Jerry, freaking awesome at bass. Steven, awesome at drums. Andrew, awesome at guitar. Juan, awesome at guitar. And I just wanted it to, become what it is now, which is, to me, some of the best stuff I've done personally. I felt like I pushed myself even more, and in a way I had something to prove, that I wasn't just done and, oh, this guy's just going to do another Bonded Part 2. I didn't want to do that. Definitely did not want to do that. I wanted to show people that I still can do this, and I can do it better, and I have the right guys to do that. And I'm really proud of what happened with Macrocosm. The music came out fucking awesome, and just if you listen to it, and it's my own music, I listen to it all the damn time, but it's like, to me, the songs are catchy. Just the dual vocals with Juan. Juan's never done vocals before. And if you hear it, you would never think that. You think like he's just been doing it forever. And there was a lot of me being like, at the studio, being like, you know what? I think we need like dual vocals. It was a little bit right before the studio. I was like, we need to do that. He's like, who's going to do that? And Juan's like, well, I think I could do some growls, like death metal stuff. And I'm like, cool, let's do that. And he's like, oh shit. He's never done like singing and doing vocals at the same time. I kind of had to coach him on delivery, because he was kind of doing things like, when you do guitar and it's kind of like,
yeah, of course,
it's harder to do the vocal delivery in a different, and I like to have vocals as a different instrument, not to follow just the guitar.
Well, that's because you're just
exactly standalone. So it's harder
singer.
To do that while you're doing guitar.
I'm more of a
rhythmic
player. I like it like to match.
And
the
so
riffs.
when we were doing that stuff, like I was trying to coach him at the same time, like, no, do it. And it was difficult at first, but he got the hang of it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he learns shit quick. And that's what I love about Juan.
So what's going forward, man? Lastly, what do you guys have coming up?
So we're working now on a debut album. The response to the EP was great, better than I expected. I didn't know what was gonna happen once I released it. I honestly was like, okay, I know I have some fans left from Bonded days. I know these guys have like their fans from their bands. But I didn't know people were going to receive it in such a great way. We sold out of a lot of stuff quick. We had to do a second batch of shirts due to demand, and people just got it. We're about to release a limited edition vinyl.
I know. I want a copy.
Yeah,
so let me know
there
when
was
it's out.
There was a little delay just because I changed the cover. I wanted to make it even way more special due to it just being 30 vinyls. That's it. I'm never going to reprint that demo again. It's just going to be that. And we're going to hand number him. That's going to be it. I like that kind of stuff, too.
Of
just
course.
Like shit that I only have, and that was it. And I'm sure those are going to go quick. Just because people are already asking me, like, hey, can I pay you the money now? Blah, 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 whatever it is. And I'm like, no, I want everybody to have a fair chance. Once I put them up there for pre-order, I'm supposed to get them soon. So I'll put them up for pre-order. And hopefully, whoever gets them, gets them. I'm even going to have to buy my own. So just so I could be fair with everyone. Let them go. I'm not going to buy the first one either, like 1 out of 30. I want some fan to get it. And that's going to be great. Like I said, we're doing the album. We have about 3 to 4 songs that are already written. I know Andrew has a lot of songs in his library of riffs. So we're going to be working. I know Juan has songs in his library of riffs. We're looking to get into the studio again this year.
Okay.
We were aiming for summer, but I feel like that never happens. So you aim for a certain thing, you probably do it in a few months.
You have to have a set goal. And
yeah, exactly.
Try and aim
but
for
we're
it.
definitely getting there with the music, and this, I feel like the album is going to be even a lot more focused than the EP. The EP was like everybody was getting together. It's kind of like Feed the Bees to Exile. Now this is going to be like, holy shit. We saw the reception at our first show. We saw how everybody really dug it. People really were waiting for that. And everybody in the band got re-energized to make new music and make it even better than what we did on the EP, which I'm excited for you guys to listen. Like, I've listened to the raw stuff that we just do at rehearsal, and if you like the EP, trust me, this stuff is it's gonna blow that shit out of the water. And I'm not just saying that to fucking hype up my band. It's just really gonna be fucking badass.
You're super excited, as you should be.
With Andrew on these riffs and with Juan on these riffs, like a lot more focused. With every one of them guys like pushing themselves to the limit. These things are coming out freaking like badass, dude.
Spot on.
It's really freaking cool. So that's what we're doing. We're being extremely picky with shows, just because we don't really want to do a bunch of shows. We want to focus on music. We've gotten offers for a few shows. We've just been like, no, it's either been too last minute. We were supposed to do this show with Ex Mortis and Nova Rain at the Slide Bar, and we'd have loved to do that show. It would have been a great show to do. They told us 2 weeks notice, and we don't get that. Jerry's on tour right now with Witch Haven. He would have gone there the day before. We didn't gone to jam with him. And like I told you before, if I don't have enough practice with all my guys, it's not fair to us and to the fans, especially the fans. Without them, I'm absolutely nothing. So
yeah, that's right.
So I want to give them the best show that they can get, and that's just not fair. So I apologize to Ex Mortis and Nova Rain that we couldn't make that show. But it would have been a great show. Go check it out. I'm going to be there anyways. I have to deliver my Macrocosm shirt to Balmore because he hooked it up with the Nova Rain shirt at their show, and I'm going to hook it up with the Macrocosm shirt.
Well, thank you so much, Jose,
no problem, man.
AKA Jason, for coming on and hanging with me. I really appreciate it, man. And thanks for the opportunity. I know you don't do as many interviews as you want to, but hopefully this is a great experience for you, and hopefully you'll come back on soon.
Definitely, man. Hopefully we'll have all the guys from Macrocosm.
Sure.
Yeah.
As long as there's no beef. I mean, I know, like
nobody. It's fine, dude. Like,
okay, good. Like, yeah, I know.
I mean, I'll bring beef if you want beef.
Dude, we have a barbecue here. There's a barbecue literally right there, dude.
I'm more of a chicken guy, but yeah, beef's fine.
Okay. Well, anyway, real quick before we sign off, tell everybody your links, and then we're out of here, man.
Oh, cool. So check us out at on Instagram. It's Macrocosm Metal at Macrocosm Metal, and then for Facebook, I believe it's Macrocosm Official or Official Macrocosm. Facebook.com/official Macrocosm, and you'll see us there. We'll be putting up videos. I'm most likely gonna put this up once it's there and up and running. And check us out, man.
Absolutely, go check him out, man. He's the real deal, and I greatly appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it, dude.